by Brony Bone and Joint Institute.
1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the 22-yard line. 3 receivers to the right. Now they'll put Howard in motion that way. He'll pump fake to Howard. Now throw it deep, wide open in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats!
Wildcat football is also brought to you in part by Ashford Homes, represented by Bradley Shepard.
Did Nash ever come back to work?
Canteen,
No.
Clem McKeska's Barbecue, Dana Helsher Agency, Farmers Insurance. Johnny's Cleaners, Johnson Brothers Ford, Las Tavica Jewelers, Locker Room Haircuts, Marco's Pizza.
Temple football is also brought to you in part by Probilski Insurance and Walk On Sports Bistro.
Snap back there is Mindy, hand off to Howard, trying to get the left side, has the corner, reaches, touchdown, Wildcats! And Pilot will take it, ride Samari, he goes for the pylon, does he get in? Touchdown, Wildcats! Just on the right side, and he kicks the pylon out of the way.
McGuire's Tire, Mitchell Davis State Farm Insurance, Morris and Pursley Financial Plans, Performance Food Service, Ponders Auto and Fleet Service, Smile at the World Orthodontics, Sports World, Temple Education Foundation, Temple Furniture and Appliance, Texas Home Health Hospice, Tyler Germstad State Farm Insurance, UBEO Business Services, Wings, Pizza and Things, Texas Tour Gear, MalloryPrint.com.
Is it going to be short? It is. It's going to be just short of the 45. It'll be 4th down and 1, and Grey Wolves are hurrying to the line of scrimmage. Here comes the blitz by the Cats. Brown gets it. He's hitting the backfield. I don't think he got it. I think the Cats have held him. The Cats have held him, and they'll take over 1st and 10 with 57 seconds remaining.
Tonight, after an exciting win over Shoemaker to clinch a district title, the Temple Wildcats close the regular season with a matchup against Killeen. The Jim Pond Temple pregame show is next. This is Wildcat football.
When an injury keeps you from
Yes. Well, first thing, we look around with all that's going on in sports, across the country at all divisions, and we ought to be just grateful that we're playing a game this weekend on Thanksgiving. So that's one thing. The other thing is that, man, Ward, I don't know about you, Coach Roark and Q, but November 27th being here at a game and not being in the playoffs, still being in the regular season. The internal clock for probably any Wildcat or Kangaroo fan out there is that this is where you're looking to be. This is supposed to be a playoff weekend, or maybe round 2 or round 3 of the playoffs. But you're right, Ward. Big night tonight for the Cats to really put an exclamation point on this district season. That's been fantastic, and that big win last week over Shoemaker. Hopefully the team isn't too deflated, and Coach Stewart could get them up enough to come in and be able to finish it out this regular season with a win over Killeen tonight.
Well, that's a great point. Last week, a big win. You get the district championship, you get the gold ball in the trophy case, but Q, there's still unfinished business for this Wildcat team, and this is part of that unfinished business, taking on a Killeen team that's going to be very athletic. They're going to be hungry for a win. They're sitting in district play right now at 1-4. Of course, Temple undefeated. We just mentioned that, but an opportunity for Killeen to kind of come in and be a spoiler for the Temple Wildcats. And if you're going to do unfinished business, you got to finish it tonight here at Wildcat Stadium.
Yeah, that's the goal, man. You want to finish off strong and then head into the playoffs on a nice little win streak. And obviously, you haven't lost a game in district play, so you are on a good win streak. But you want to keep that going, you know. And Art mentioned it before. Obviously, already coming off the district championship, you got the gold ball in the trophy case. So now, it's the coaching's job, it's the players' job to get into the locker room, get fired up, and say, hey, look, I know we got the trophy. We need to go out there and finish off strong, and we got one more game to go. Give Killeen a heck of a game, and that's what I believe they'll do tonight. Guys, how important is it to go into the playoffs? I know we got a bye week next week. If you look at it, and normally you go into bye district after the week after the regular season, but now you have a week off. Do you still have to have that momentum going into the playoffs, even though there is a bye week?
Well, I think you just want to be playing good football, right? I mean, you want to come out tonight and you want to see the Wildcats play a solid 4 quarters, play a complete game, just not making any boneheaded mistakes, right? I mean, just doing that stuff to where you go, wow, that's not what you're supposed to be, how you're supposed to be playing it this far into the season. So yes, I think as far as you might refer to it as rhythm, just having your rhythm and your flow offensively, defensively, special teams. That's what I'm looking for from the Wildcats tonight, is come in, play a complete game. If they play Wildcat football, there really should be no question about the outcome of the game. Killeen certainly has some massive talent on their team, but they've had struggle this year just putting it all together, which is another thing, Ward, for us old-time Wildcat fans like Coach Rourke and myself. This used to be the end. I mean, playing Killeen Kangaroos, the last game of the regular season, usually determined who went to the playoffs. I mean, it was that big of a game, so that's a little bit different. But it is huge. And I'll tell you the other thing, Ward, that I know Coach Stewart has not let leave his memory was 2 years ago Mesquite Horn coming in here in that round 1, and all of a sudden you found what should have been a 3-7 team coming in here round 1. You thought, okay, let's go ahead and be thinking about round 2, and the Wildcats found their season over. So if they think that home field advantage, that December 11th game against Waxahachie, which should be 2 weeks from tonight, yeah, if they're thinking momentum doesn't matter going into that game, that would be a very foolish thought for the Wildcats.
It is the day after Thanksgiving in Q. Normally it's playoff time this time of year, but it's unfinished business for the Temple Wildcats. But you see the lower classification and lots of games around the area. Stephen Simcox will give us some updates here in a little bit. But them having those playoff atmosphere, is the atmosphere here going to feel like a playoff game even though it's really quote-unquote not?
I don't think it's going to be a playoff atmosphere. I think, we saw so much electricity and such a great atmosphere last week at Leo Buckley Stadium going up against Shoemaker. I think it's going to be a little bit less. I'm looking at the stands right now, and the fans are starting to file in. I just think that they know that it's the last game, and then they're going to be heading into a bye and then the playoffs. The one thing I will say about this game, and something I'm looking forward to, and we'll talk about it later in the broadcast, I think that there's going to be some guys that don't necessarily get a lot of burn, get some burn in this game as well, as they prepare to get them ready for playoff action too.
That's a good point. Q on the sidelines, brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. This is the Jim Pond pregame show. Wildcat football is presented by Baylor Scott and White Rony Bone and Joint Institute. We'll take our first time out. When we come back, we'll hear from head coach Scott Stewart right after this on Temple Wildcat football on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Clear, 3 minutes.
can only be 1-0 this week. Again, there are implications that happen before and after games, and to me, that's when you go after the season's over and you look at what you did. But right now, we're focused on being 1-0. That's all we can be this week, and so that's all we're going to try to do.
It goes back to something you say each and every week, that you can only control what you can control, and what you can control tonight is win the football game.
That's it. And go out there and play the best brand of football that we played as an individual, as a unit, and as a team, and we'll take whatever comes. I've never asked these kids to win a game. I just ask them to go out there and give everything they got. And when you do that, if you're in a place that's got a little bit of talent, a lot of times that'll be enough to get you a win. But bottom line is, if we can go play the best brand of football we can possibly play, that's the goal, and I'll take whatever outcome comes.
Killeen Kangaroos tonight, don't let the record deceive you. They've got some athletes over there that can do some special things.
They have athletes all over the field. They're big, they're fast. I mean, it's just it's a carbon copy. I mean, every team we play out of Killeen is full of athletes, and some of the stuff hadn't rolled their way, but they've lost some close games to some good people. So we're just going to have to go out and try to play and be sound and do what we do.
Offensively, how important is it to get off to a good start tonight, stay ahead of the chains?
Well, there's obviously some weather factor. I mean, it's knock on wood, it's not raining right now, but it is pretty windy, and so you got to establish a line of scrimmage, try to stay ahead of the chains so that you don't get yourself in a pigeonhole. 20-mile winds are not fun when you pigeonhole yourself. So, we just got to try to stay in rhythm and keep the playbook open, and try to just get things rolling early and see if we can't get on rhythm.
Defensively, you have to fill gaps and try to set the tone tonight.
They are hyper athletic at every skill position on the field, and they're big up front. So there's a premium on fits, there's a premium on tackling. We got to tackle in space. Again, their MO is to get athletes the ball in space, and that proved to at times be a little difficult for us last week. And these guys are just good athletes, so we've worked hard on that. We've got to work on herd tackling and leverage, and if you miss it, know where you're sending it, and we got to get to the ball with bad intentions.
Special teams, how important are they tonight to be able to be sound there?
Well, it's week 11, so everybody. There's no surprises at this point. You just got to go out and execute. There's a little bit more of a win tonight, so taking care of the football is that much more critical. So again, we talk about it every week. We'll try to make something big happen, but I think the main point is you don't let anything big happen against you. So that's going to be our focus, and we're going to go out and try to execute.
Coach, win the flip. You know what you're going to do yet?
I always know. Yeah, I think we got a pretty good idea. I love defense.
All right, Coach. Best of luck tonight. We'll talk to you more in a second after the ball game.
Thank you, guys.
Back to you, Q.
I told you he always knows and prefers to put the defense on the field first. That was the Locker Room Haircuts at Temple Coach's pregame interview with my guy, Coach Scott Stewart. More of the Jim Pond pregame show is coming up next here on AM 1330 and 93.9 FM, Fox Sports Central Texas.
welcome back to the Jim Pond pregame show. Temple Wildcat football here on Fox Sports Central Texas, presented by Baylor Scott White, Rony Bone and Joint Institute. Ward White's your boy Q, Art Coley, and Coach Alan Roark along with you here at Wildcat Stadium. Wildcats getting ready to face the Killeen Kangaroos in the final regular season game here at Wildcat Stadium on this day after Thanksgiving. Here in the Jim Pond pregame show, time now to take a look at District 12 6A, brought to you by Wings Pizza and Things in Temple. And don't forget, the Scott Stewart Show every Wednesday night at 6:30 at Wings Pizza and Things. And the district is shaped up pretty well, and you kind of know, almost know where everybody's going. But there's some games that have some pretty good implications tonight.
Yeah, in the way things were going, when Harker Heights pulls that victory out against Shoemaker the week 2 weeks before Wildcats played Shoemaker, everything seemed to be really settled in. And there you go. You talk so much about things happening in this district, or District 12 6A. The only certainty, as we said here tonight, is the Wildcats.
Right.
I mean, they're locking up the district championship. They're the number 1 seed. That's said. But 2, 3, and 4 going into the playoffs is still up in the air. Harker Heights earlier today at the doubleheader at Leo Buckley, they were able to win 42 to 20 over Coppers Cove. That makes Harker Heights now 4-2. So you got Harker Heights 4-2, Killeen Shoemaker at 4-2, Bryan at 4-2,
wow.
and then the game of the week really is this Belton Shoemaker game just on the other side of the Leon River, because Belton's 3-2. They have to beat Shoemaker tonight. Well, it's interesting now, that makes Shoemaker 4-3 if Belton wins that game. So this last couple weeks for those last 3 spots is kind of what you like in a district, Not if you're a Wildcat fan. You're plenty comfortable with sitting where you are, but for the other 3 spots and somebody that might be a little bit of a district geek just watching what's going on with the other schools, that's kind of fun stuff, because those games are massively, they mean so much about not only if you're playing in the playoffs, but what seeds you might be. And we talk about the district of death up there, District 11 6A, which is the bi-district round, and 3 of the top 10 schools in 6A are from that district. So Temple will be facing that 4th place team against Waxahachie because they're first in the district and, of course, in Division II. But it's massive, Ward. So we've got, like I said, Shoemaker's over at Belton, and then you've got Bryan at Ellison over for that at the doubleheader of the at Leo Buckley. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens now. I know Stephen can help keep us up to date on those scores, because it means a lot for the district.
A little drama.
Yeah, and you talk about it, Q, when you have that opportunity to be able to sit here if you're the Temple Wildcats and know where you're going, but you also kind of want to keep an eye on it, because one of those teams out of your district is going to be in your bracket as well.
Yeah, you want to always know what's going on, and you want to know who's, what they're doing and how these teams are going. But like Coach Stewart says all the time, he's worried about the team in blue. He's worried about the Temple Wildcats and Temple Wildcats only. He don't care if the Green Bay Packers line up across the field. It does not matter. He's just ready to get them going and get them focused on the task at hand. But yeah, man, the way Art just broke that down, there's a little bit of drama going on in the district, and that's something that we like. We enjoy that kind of stuff.
Absolutely. Time now for your starting lineups, brought to you by Ashford Homes, represented by Bradley Shepard. And with that Temple Wildcat defense, here's Art Coley.
All right, coming across the defensive front, number 13, junior Eric Shorter at defensive end. Number 95, senior Javen Taylor at tackle. Number 44, Cody Little. He's a senior tackle. And at that other defensive end, number 90, junior Tommy Torres. Our linebackers tonight for the Wildcats, coming across number 5, he's a sophomore, Torian York. Number 9, junior Phelan Lee. Number 11, junior Marshall Grays. And in the secondary at left cornerback, number 4, senior Keon Williams. Number 15, junior Jaden Jackson. Number 2, junior Otarian Peoples. And that right cornerback, number 17, senior Carlton Mack. Ward, that's your Temple Wildcat starting defense tonight.
All right, take a look at the offense up front. Left tackle, number 53, junior Colby Rice. At left guard, senior number 64, Kai Lynn. At center, senior 57, Matthew Fry. At right guard, senior number 66, Alan Camacho. And the right tackle, senior number 58, Alex Rodriguez. Your wideouts, number 3, senior A.J. McDuffie. Number 12, senior Luke Allen. Number 18, slot back, senior Tadarius Taylor. And the tight end, number 30, junior Keandre Smith. At running back, junior number 8, Samari Howard. And the quarterback for the Wildcats, number 10, a senior, Humberto Arizmendi. There is your starting lineups, brought to you by Ashford Homes, represented by Bradley Shepard. As the Jim Pond pregame show continues, we'll take a short time out. When we come back, we will have your keys to the game.
Standing at the center of the field now will be the captains for the two teams. For the visiting Killeen Kangaroos, number 17, Jacoby Thomas. For Temple, number 4, Keon Williams. All of our officials tonight are members of the Texas Association of Sports Officials and were selected with complete agreement between both schools. They are from the Waco chapter and include referee Greg McMurray, umpire Brad Bush, head linesman Steve Wenzel, line judge Weedy Harris, back judge Justin Bowlesby, field judge Jacob Bradshaw, and side judge David Lee.
Okay, Triple has won. They deferred.
All right, there you go, Q. The Wildcats have won the toss and deferred. Is that correct?
That is correct. Keon Williams out there as the captain today. That was pretty cool to see him out there. I think that's the first time he's been the captain all year.
All right, thanks, Q. Down on the sidelines, brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. And that is the opening kickoff brought to you by Sports World. Quickly, let's get the Johnson Brothers forward. Keys to the game. As I'm trying to fix Coach Alan Roark's headset, sorry. Go ahead, Art.
Hey, all right. Well, look, this rivalry goes back over 100 years. Killeen and Temple, that's just a little something also to think about when we're thinking about Texas high school football tonight. Defensively, Ward, I think there's one name that comes to mind for the Wildcats that they have to watch out for on Killeen, and that's Kadarius Marshall. The Kangaroos have struggled this season offensively, but Kadarius Marshall is the offense. Last year, he did 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns. He's approaching 1,000 yards rushing this season, so defense has to make sure that he doesn't bust loose with a big game tonight. Offensively, look, Killeen has their defense has been pretty solid. A lot of the stuff that's been happening is because they've just given the other team the ball so much. So come out, play Wildcat football and offensively, and just stay in control, no turnovers.
There you go. Keys to the game for Arm, brought to you by Johnson Brothers Ford. We'll get Q's keys to the game after this Sports World kickoff, and there to tee it up is Wagaman for the Wildcats. He'll be kicking left to right, and it's a short, high kick, fair caught, and made at the 31-yard line by the Killeen Kangaroos, and on the fair catch, that was Devontae Moore, and that's where the Kangaroos will take over 1st and 10. Q, your keys to the game, brought to you by Johnson Brothers Ford.
I think you just finish strong. I think it's simple as that. Just finish strong. Do what you did to get here. Defense, run game, smart football, and you come out with a W and feel good about yourself heading into a bye week.
All right, we are underway here at Wildcat Stadium, and the Kangaroos in all white tonight. It is white pants, white jersey, maroon numerals, and a white helmet with the maroon K on both sides. Shotgun formation for the Kangaroos, and it's a quarterback keep right up the middle, and he'll lurch forward for about 6 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 4. Jacoby Thompson, the quarterback for the Killeen Kangaroos, junior.
Yeah, that quarterback for Killeen Thompson, he's 6'3", 190 pounds, so, no small guy there for the Killeen Kangaroos. But the key guy here to watch is Kadarius Marshall, the running back for Kangaroos.
It'll be 2nd down and 4 coming up for the Kangaroos. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side as they go right to left. Shotgun formation for Thompson. He'll take it and hand it off to the running back, Marshall. Marshall on the right side will gain about a yard before he is brought down by the Wildcats, and in there is Tommy Torres for the Temple Wildcats. It'll be 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Killeen Kangaroos.
Well, Temple's starting with a regular starting defense here, so they've got all their starters out that they've played with all year. The defense has been very fortunate. No real serious heavy injuries, so that same crew starting tonight. And, looking to line up with that, play that Wildcat defense.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right on 3rd down and 3. And Thompson in all kinds of trouble being flushed out. He drops the football. It's on the ground, and I believe the Temple Wildcats have it inside the 25-yard line. No official move by the referee, and now he does point it that way. And the Wildcats will take over, recovering the fumble that time for the Wildcats. I believe coming up with it was Grays.
I believe the Kangaroos came up with it.
Oh, they did. Excuse me. I thought the referee did point that way, but he didn't. He was holding up 4th down. So it'll be 4th and 15. Thank you, Q.
Ward looking for a little early Christmas present there for the Wildcats.
Killeen late getting a player out into punt formation. And back to do the punting will be DeKite. Standing at about his 25. And he'll roll rugby style in a high end-over-end kick heading for the far sidelines. And it goes way out of bounds. We'll see the The referee walks up to. He starts at the 40, and that's where he's going to stop. And the Wildcats will take over after a 35-yard punt and no return.
You know, if you're the Wildcats, you couldn't ask for a better start defensively. You know, you get a 3-and-out on a team that, like Art pointed out, has a very explosive running back, and they have a very explosive run game. And to be able to get a 3-and-out, and then the way you did it on that last play, getting that big sack to force the punt, that was the way that you want to start this thing off if you're the Temple Wildcats.
Here come the Wildcats in the home blue unis, blue jersey, white numerals, the blue helmet tonight, and the blue front, white back iconic pants. Humberto in shotgun formation, 2 receivers to both sides, and he'll fall forward after being surrounded by Kangaroos. Looked like he might have lost the football and then fell forward. It'll be second down and 3 coming up, or second down and 13 coming up for the Wildcats. He did lose the football?
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Q. Second and 13, and this time he gives it to Samari Howard. Right up the middle, big hole, across midfield, down to the 49-yard line. And that's going to be a 14-yard gain by the running back right up the middle, Samari Howard. And there's the first Las Vegas Jewelers first down for the Cats. Well, 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Humberto looking downfield, and there's going to be illegal procedure against the Wildcats. So it'll be 1st and 15, Art.
Yeah, well, the Cats kind of even got me there about popping back up. Talk about tempo.
False start. Number 7.
Well, one of the things I'm saying about that last run forward is that
First down.
Samari Howard up the middle, why that's such a big deal is because Killeen has a nearly 300-pound nose tackle. And so dominating and trying to establish presence on that again at the line of scrimmage with the run game is important for the Wildcats here early.
1st and 15, 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side, 3-step drop from Humberto, and he'll throw it across the middle on the slant route, and it's caught by A.J. McDuffie. He spins out of a tackle, stiff arms, and gets down to the 45-yard line, maybe the 44, depending on the spot. He'll get some of that real estate back in a couple of extra. It'll be second down and about 6 now needed for the Wildcats. They'll get right back on the line of scrimmage. Stacked receivers to both sides of the formation. Shotgun for Arizmendi. Samari Howard in at running back, of course, and he'll stand to the right of Arizmendi. Snap back, and he'll fake it to Samari. Now he'll stand up into the pocket, and now he'll run forward and be knocked off his feet after only about a yard, maybe a yard and a half gain. It'll be 3rd down and 3 coming up for the Wildcats. Coming across and making the tackle that time, Andrew Morales for the Kangaroos.
And, Art, sometimes you have to make a play like that, like Arizmendi just did. Instead of put the ball in harm's way, just go ahead and pick up a yard and be happy with it to live the next down.
Good point.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. And Arizmendi in shotgun. He'll turn and ride Howard and keep it himself right on the left side. Big hole up the middle, down inside the 20 to the 19-yard line. A big gain of 20 yards that time by the quarterback, and it'll be a Las Vegas Jewelers first down inside the State Farm Insurance red zone.
Well, Arizmendi last week, what was it, Coach Rourke? What do you have, almost 150 yards rushing?
Yeah, it was just under that.
He's off to the races again here, Ward.
Snap back, handoff to Howard, and he's wrapped up in the backfield. And coming across and making the play that time was Taquan Jones, the senior defensive end. It'll be a loss of about a yard, 2nd down and 11 coming up for the Wildcats.
Well, Coach Ward was talking about Arizmendi's big runs last week, and he just reminded him, he said, look, you're not going to outrun anybody, so if you run, just make sure you hang on to the ball.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 2nd down and 11. Fake it off to Howard, looking across the middle, has a receiver, and it's short, and there's the flag. Trying to get it in to
Taylor.
That was Taylor, and I believe that's going to be interference on Jaden Hill.
Yeah, Tredarius Taylor was wide out. It was just a post route into the end zone. Not a bad thrown ball by Arizmendi. He put it low, and then just the pass interference probably prevented that from being a touchdown.
Yeah, I thought that he held on to it a little bit longer. You know what I mean? Like he waited for Taylor to break open a little bit. I think if he had anticipated a little bit earlier, I think Taylor would have a better opportunity. But either way, you get the pass interference penalty and you get a first down.
So that's going to be 1st and goal to goal, and Las Vegas Jewelers first down on the pass interference, and the ball will set at the 5-yard line for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap back to Howard, direct snap. He'll go to the left side, stiff arms, touchdown Wildcats. Samari Howard and the Cats strike first from 5 yards out, 6-0 with your PAT up and coming.
You know, that's exactly how they designed it, right? You get a 3-and-out defensively, and you get the ball back in pretty good field position. You march right down the field and put it in the end zone.
Well, I kind of saw all 3 things happening there. They look good passing. They look good Arizmendi running it. They look good with blocking for Howard. So it's really the whole package.
There you go. Swinging gate is rolled into the normal PAT for the Wildcats. And touchdown brought to you by Smile at the World Orthodontics. Clint McCaskis brings you the PAT. Howard on the hold. And Wagaman not in the game, and that is good. No, excuse me, no good. Was it good?
Yeah, it was good.
One official said no good. The guy to the right of the upright said no good. The one to the left said good. All right, so it is good. The White Hat makes it official. And your new score from Wildcat Stadium, Temple 7 and Killeen nothing. Wildcat football continues in 30 seconds on Fox Sports Central Texas. Welcome back to Wildcat Football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. We'll go to Steven Simcox at the Marco's Pizza scoring summary desk with brought to you by McGuire Tires. After this kickoff, we'll get Q as the kicker. Q, did you find out who we're looking at as the kicker tonight?
The JV kicker.
That's all we know?
Yeah, I got his name, but I forgot it.
It'll check up, and does it dribble out of bounds? Yes, it does. And so that will be first and 10 for the Kangaroos at the 30-yard line. We'll see if we can get the name of the young man kicking for the Wildcats tonight here momentarily.
Well, almost a huge mistake by the Killeen Kangaroos. Number 7, Monroe there, one of the receivers for the offense, signaled a fair catch, and then he saw the ball over his head, and so he let the ball go down, and he's treating it like a punt. When that was a live ball, he's lucky it went out of bounds. Otherwise, it would have been Temple's ball first down on the 30.
After this first play, we'll get that McGuire Tire scoring summary with Steven Simcox as the Kangaroos come out first and 10. Ball sits at the 30-yard line on the right hash. There'll be 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Kangaroos in the all-white, trimmed in maroon, going right to left here at Wildcat Stadium. 7-0, 7:32 to go in the Temple Furniture and Appliance first quarter. Cats with the lead, and Thompson's going to keep himself and hit right at the line of scrimmage and slung down by the Wildcats. And in on the stop that time for the Wildcats was Tommy Torres. It'll be about a yard gain, but a big tackle by Torres. And Steven with that McGuire Tire scoring summary.
What's the
It
kicker's
was
name?
9 plays, covered 60 yards. Samari Howard with a 5-yard touchdown run to cap off the drive. And it took 2 minutes and 29 seconds off the clock for.
Thank you, Steven, with the McGuire Tire scoring summary. It'll be second down and 9 for the Kangaroos. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right, 1 back in the backfield with Thompson. He'll fake there. Now he'll drop back 7 steps and be hit just as he let go of the football. Tried to give the slant route complete to his wideout, Dante Monroe, but he was attacked from behind and incomplete. It'll be third down and 11. Eric Shorter closed quickly that time, Art.
Yeah, he did. And this is one of these question marks I was looking at is, this Thompson, the 6'3", 190 quarterback for Killeen. By the way, Tommy Torres, the 6'5", 255-pound defensive end for the Wildcats, had no trouble wrestling him down on that previous play. But Killeen has some really big wide receivers. They just haven't put it together. 2
receivers to the left, 1 to the right, shotgun formation. Thompson will take it, 3-step drop. Now he holds the football and looking for somewhere to go, and there's nowhere for him to go. And he'll be wrestled down after about a 1-yard gain, and several Wildcats in there to stop him. But there first was York, and it'll be 4th down and 9 coming up for the Killeen Kangaroos.
Looks like a.
Oh, there is Laundry on the field.
That's going to be some sportsman thing,
Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9. 15 yards, first down.
So the official says unsportsmanlike conduct against the Temple Wildcats, and it'll be 1st and 10, the Kangaroos. Laundry on the field brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. Q, what happened out there?
It was a bunch of jawing after the play, kind of getting in everybody's face, and the official was not having it. He's trying to set the tone early. He made that call with aggression.
He did.
He said personal foul on number 9 and pointed right at him. Oh, and by the way, Donis Bodic is the kicker.
Thank you very much.
He's up from the JV. Wagaman's not in this game.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Kangaroos, and the ball will set at the 46-yard line. Snap back, and the ball's on the ground, and the Wildcats do not come up with it. The Kangaroos do, but they'll drop him for a loss. As coming up to recover the fumble that time was the offensive lineman, and I don't have a name on that young man. I'm sorry.
Well, he paid the price for it. He paid the price for recovering that. And Eric Shorter is a monster right now. He's been all over the field tonight.
2nd down and 13 coming up for the Wildcats. For the Kangaroos. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation for Thompson, and Marshall in the backfield to his right. Snap back, and he'll roll to the wide side of the field, still trying to get across the wild side, and just kind of threw that one kind of errantly toward the sidelines, intended for Hill, but Hill really never had a chance to pull that one in.
And that was Bailey in the quarterback position for the Kangaroos, number 12.
Thank you.
They got a little road, and now Bailey limps off the field, so I'm sure Thompson's going to come right back in.
Yeah, Bailey, the backup quarterback in there that time. Thank you, Q. Heads up.
Yeah, he took a massive hit. I don't know who was that put the hit on him. Was that Torres? Cody? I don't know. But anyway, it was a big hit on Bailey, that backup quarterback.
They got him.
He gladly yielded back to Thompson to come in at quarterback after that hit.
3rd down and 13 for the Kangaroos. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Thompson is back in at shotgun formation. He'll take the snap and roll to the near side of the field. Looking downfield, he'll set his feet and throw to the sidelines. Way overthrown, out of bounds. Incomplete. Trying to go to his intended receiver on the near side, just a little out route intended for Powell, but overthrew him. And it'll be 4th down and 13 coming up for the Kangaroos. So the Wildcat defense, other than the unsportsmanlike conduct, has had a couple of 3-and-outs.
Well, the early indication here, I was curious about the Kangaroos in their passing game. Was it that they're not getting any protection from their offensive line? Was it the receivers can't catch? If the quarterback, can he throw or not? But they've got some really big receivers out there. Just looks like that. Maybe Thompson doesn't have the arm that they want.
So punt to Thompson is going to come down at the 27-yard line. He makes one man miss, but then he is hit. I believe that's going to be a face mask as Laundrie hits the turf after a 6-yard return on a 37-yard punt. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, and they'll probably get a little extra yardage on this.
You can tell there's no love lost between these two teams. You can tell what kind of game this is, even though the Wildcats already have everything summed up and Killeen's not having the season that they have. I mean, these guys know each other, and they got a little bit of beef and a little bit of tension. So this may be a game where you see a lot of flags on the field.
Laundrie on the field, brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. It is a personal foul, face mask, so tack on 15 on the return for Thompson. And it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, who lead at 7-0 with 5:12 to go in the Temple Furniture and Appliance first quarter.
Well, sometimes emotions on these games can just be high. But you've got Killeen. They know that tonight is the end of the season for them. This is their last game. And, if you're a senior over there on the Killeen Kangaroo side, that can be a little emotional. That can be emotional and drive some of that, just extracurricular activities.
Wildcats leading 7-0, go left to right. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. They'll try to run the tunnel screen. It's complete to Pilot. Up the far sideline he goes, and he's run out of bounds at about the 44-yard line. Pick up of just 10 yards, right at it. Depend on the spot if they'll move the chains or not. It will be enough for the Las Vegas Jewelers 1st down, 1st and 10 for the Wildcats.
And Art, going back to your point, they also know that the way the Wildcats have come out, they've been dominated as well.
Shotgun formation for Ayers-Mende. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. He'll fake the handoff to Howard, looking downfield. Nobody there. He's going to pull it down and run on the left side. Gets inside the 40 to the 35 to the 30 before he's knocked off. He's still on his feet. Down to the 25 and carries 3 white jerseys out of bounds with him. Ayers-Mende, the quarterback, punishing run down to the 24-yard line, 20 yards, and a Las Vegas Jewelers 1st down.
Art, I don't know if you saw it from there, but I think Ayers-Mende's got to let that rip.
Yeah, Ayers-Mende is, listen, he is now adding a new element to this Wildcat offense and, moving into the playoffs. If your quarterback is starting to all this that you really haven't counted on during the season as a dual threat, now you get that. That's a pretty big deal.
Holding call against the Wildcats. Laundrie on the field, brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners, so that ball will come back. It is a spot foul, so it'll be 1st down and 11. Only actually lose a yard, but the 20-yard run by the quarterback negated by the penalty. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation for Ayers-Mende. This time he gives it off to Samari Howard, and he is hit at the 45 and driven backwards, coming in and making the hit that time for the Killeen Kangaroos was David Monley. And it will be 2nd down and 11. They'll give him forward progress no gain for the Wildcats.
And Ward, I don't know if your angle, but what I was saying is he needs to let it rip. Arizmendi, that is sometimes you just got to throw your guy open instead of wait till he gets open.
Sure. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Absolutely he does. Shotgun formation. He'll take it. This time it's a quarterback keep all the way. Arizmendi steps out of a couple of tackles and then rides a couple of white shirts inside the 35 to the 34-yard line. It's going to be about a half yard short of the yardage needed for a first down. It'll be 3rd down and inches coming up for the Wildcats. They'll get right back on the line of scrimmage. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation for Arizmendi. He'll clap and try to get them off sides, and now he'll back up and shift Samari Howard to his left. Snap back and a give to Howard right up the middle. Steps out of a tackle, gets inside the 30, and leans his way to the 33-yard line. It's a pickup of 6 yards, and it's a loss to Vika Jewelers. First down for the Wildcats.
It really wasn't until last week against Shoemaker where we saw this whole side of Arizmendi just tugging the ball and running it. But I can't, you can't overestimate and speak too much how that can throw a defense off.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 1st and 10 for the Wildcats, and they'll hand off to Howard again. He stutter steps, and now he's trying to get to the left edge, and he cannot get outside. He'll be run out of bounds after about a 2-yard gain for Arizmendi, but there is laundry on the field, brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners once again.
Well, we're either right on the line and maybe the penalty pushes us back, but we're close to being in that State Farm Insurance red zone. So I'm going to get that in there for Mike Mitchell Davis and Tyler Turnstead.
Wow, it's going to be another holding call against the Temple Wildcats. I haven't seen this many holding calls on them maybe all season long.
Last week was such an efficient game against Shoemaker. I mean, both for the Wildcats and Killeen Shoemaker, just really hardly any impactful penalties really thrown in that game. And tonight, tons of, you mentioned it, a lot of yellow on the field.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 1st and 20. He'll fake to Howard, looking downfield, throws it, and has A.J. McDuffie caught inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line before he is brought down. And on the tackle that time, Jaden Hill for the Kangaroos. They'll get 12 yards out of the pitch and catch. It'll be 2nd down and 8 coming up for the Wildcats. Ball sit on the right hash.
Art, and I think a little bit of these extra flags is the officials trying to get control of this game as well.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. They'll put Howard in motion to the near side of the field. 3-step drop, looking downfield, has a receiver clearing in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats! Pilot just right up the seam again. And the Wildcats extend 13-0 with your PAT up and coming.
And Arizmendi did there what Q's been asking him to do in this whole first quarter, is throw it before the receiver's open, and he absolutely did that on that play to Pilot. Pilot was completely covered. He lobs it in the air, anticipating him to break free and become wide open like he did. Well thrown ball.
Swinging gate for the Wildcats, and now they'll roll out of the swinging gate. Howard will be on the hold. Touchdown brought to you by Smile at the World Orthodontics, and in to do is going to be Donis. Was it
Bodic?
Bodic. Yeah. Thank you very much. That's going to be a flag, and the kick is up, and it is good. I'm sure the Wildcats will decline that. Killeen was offside. They do decline the penalty, and your new score from Wildcat Stadium, Temple 14 and Killeen nothing. Wildcat football will continue in 1 minute on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Everything in our world is connected. At Grande, we continue to invest millions in our fiber-rich network so you can have the most reliable connections when you need them most. These connections inspire our greatest passions in life. And as you follow your dreams, we're here for you every step of the way, 24/7, with our award-winning customer service, until one day, you become who you were always meant to be. Keep your family and home connected with Grande's lightning-fast internet. Imagine better with Grande.
Temple Wildcat football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. Ward Weinzart, Coley, Alan Warrock in the booth. Your boy Q on the sideline. Steven Simcox producing back in the Fox Sports studios. Time now for your McGuire Tire scoring summary. Here's Steven.
Thanks, Ward. It was 6 plays to cover 54 yards that time. Arizmendi to Pilot for a 26-yard touchdown pass, and it took 2:38 on.
Thank you, Stephen, with the McGuire Tire scoring summary. Back in the Marco Pizza studios. And after the fair catch on the Sports World kickoff, Killeen will take over 1st and 10, down 14-0. Snap back, and Bailey has it. And he weaves his way out to the 35-yard line before being knocked off his feet. And it'll be a pickup of about 5 on the carry. As the backup Bailey back into the ball game.
Yeah, they had Thompson out at wide receiver. He was put in their normal starting quarterback. He was put into motion. So you just kind of wonder what maybe if it looked like a little fumble snap there,
yeah,
but like maybe there was a little razzle dazzle getting ready to try to happen there by Killeen.
Thompson in a slot back, and Bailey back in shotgun formation. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Thompson in that slot to the near side. This time the quarterback will keep it. Bailey weaves his way, gets to the 40-yard line before being knocked off his feet. And on the stop that time, Grays for the Temple Wildcats. But it'll move the chains for the Kangaroos. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 40-yard line. Kangaroos go right to left in the all-white maroon numerals and the maroon K logo on both sides of the helmet with the maroon face mask on 1st and 10, trailing the Temple Wildcats 14-0. Wildcat football presented by Baylor Scott White, Grony Bone and Joint Institute. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Bailey will take the snap, looking to go far side on the pass, and did he get down and get underneath that football? He did. It was complete to the wide out that time. Devontae Monroe, the leading receiver for the Kangaroos, and he'll pick up 6, 2nd down and 4 coming up for the Killeen Kangaroos.
From this angle, it looked like it hit the ground, but maybe the receiver was able to get his arms underneath it, but it was a really, really low, not a really good pass, and the wide receiver just made a good play there.
Q on the sidelines, brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. Killeen will have it. 2nd down and 4. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun formation for Bailey. Put a man in motion. The ball's on the ground. He'll finally pick it up, but he'll be wrapped up in the backfield. And coming across that time was Grays as he jumped on him right as he was trying to pick up the football. It'll be a loss of about 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7 now needed for the Kangaroos.
Yeah, in this first quarter so far with 30 seconds left here, it just really is a continuation for Killeen of the kind of season they've had, just really struggling just to get it together. And, same thing happening for them here.
Bailey in shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. 3-step drop for Bailey. Now he's trying to set up the screen. He'll float it, and it's caught by Arthur, and he'll be knocked off his feet right at midfield. He'll pick up the 8 yards needed for the 1st down, but he paid the price for it that time as coming across, Eric Shorter introduced himself loudly.
Well, that was a really well-designed screenplay by the Kangaroos. I mean, they had the whole defensive line of the Wildcats. When they finally figured out what was happening, they thought they were about to get a quarterback sack. They panicked, did the stop, put the brakes on, but it was too late by then. And well set up by Killeen. I think Temple's lucky they didn't turn into more yardage.
Cody Little on the stop as well. That's the end of the Temple Furniture and Appliance first quarter. Your score, Temple 14 and Killeen nothing. Wildcat football continues in 1 minute on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Hey fans, this year Johnson Brothers Ford is celebrating 38 years of serving Central Texas and another great season sponsoring the Temple High School Wildcats. We love watching that blue front, white back magic on the field, and we're proud to join our community as we cheer on the Cats together. Good luck to all the players, coaches, parents, and fans. Let's make it happen in 2020.
Johnson Brothers, making it happen.
Go Cats!
Number 11, Henry Arthur on the carry. Torian York, number 5, and 16, J.D. Johnson, defending.
Back to Wildcat football here on Fox Sports Central Texas as they get to play a little bit quickly in the Ponder Auto and Fleet Service second quarter. Wildcats lead at 14-0. And on 1st down, they hand it off to Arthur. He goes on the left side for 9 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 1 coming up for the Kangaroos, who now travel left to right. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Snap back to Bailey again. Bailey being flushed out of the pocket. He'll roll to the near side of the field, and now he'll just throw it to Coach Stewart on the sidelines, and he makes the catch.
I was going to get it if he hadn't caught it. but it's going to be offsides on Temple, so he's not too happy with that that defensive play because, again, it's going to go all for naught.
Well, Bailey, the quarterback there, kind of, that's one of those things you get a free play. You got the Wildcats, instead of throwing, he rolled out, he saw that there wasn't anything, he threw it out of bounds. But he kind of missed an opportunity maybe to launch it up for one of his 6'3" receivers that he has downfield to at least see if something could happen.
Laundry on the field brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. It is defense offsides, and so it's an automatic first down after the mark-off, and it'll be 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation for Bailey. 1 back in the backfield. Bailey will run the option to the near side, pitches it, and hit immediately as he pinched it by Shorter and dropped him for about a yard loss. And Emory Arthur, the backup running back, in the ballgame on the run that time.
Yeah, we're not even seeing Marshall in the game. Kadarius Marshall, their 3-year starting running back, and, the guy with over 1,300 yards, 18 touchdowns last year. His no-show.
He's on the sideline with his helmet in his hand.
Yeah.
Interesting.
2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Shotgun formation again for Bailey and Arthur to his left. On 2nd down and 11, they'll snap it back and hand it off to Arthur. Weaves his way right up the middle to get down to the 30, maybe the 29, depending on the spot. They'll mark him right at the 30-yard line, so he'll pick up a 6 that time. And it'll be 3rd down and about a long 4 coming up for the Kangaroos. Wildcats trying to get off the field on 3rd down. They'll send 2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left, 1 back in the backfield with Bailey. Cats looked like they were going to jump for just a minute, and now they'll go back to the sidelines for the call. Plenty of time left on the play clock. Cats lead at 14-0 over the Kangaroos. Snap back, and it's a quarterback draw all the way. Bailey on the right side, and he steps out of a tackle inside the 15, inside the 10, weaves, and is he in? Touchdown, Kangaroos. Got knocked off his feet right at the goal line, but he was able to fall forward for the touchdown, and the Kangaroos are on the board 14-6 with your PAT up and coming.
Well, and this is where, Coach Stewart, it sounds sometimes like coach speak, but he's not kidding. I mean, the Killeen schools have phenomenal athletes, and, a 2-touchdown lead, or you think this game might be cruising to something, it means nothing against this team like this.
Snap back, and Gomez paused, and then he is hammered on the PAT, picked up by the Wildcats, heading back the other way and trying to step out of a tackle, and he does, still on his feet, down inside the 40. The ball pops loose again, and it's recovered by the Kangaroos, and there is a late flag by the official. That's going to go against the Wildcats, and the official is trying to get everybody back to their appropriate sidelines. On the block that time was Javen Taylor, and he was trying to get the 2 points, but a late foul after the fumble, and that will be assessed on the kickoff, a personal foul against the Temple Wildcats. Laundry on the field brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. Your new score from Wildcat Stadium, Temple 14, Killeen 6. Wildcat football will continue in 30 seconds on Fox Sports Central Texas. Football here on Fox Sports Central Texas after the personal foul on the block kick by the Wildcats. The Kangaroos will be kicking off from the Wildcat 45-yard line. And more to say, it's getting a little chippy out there, maybe an understatement tonight.
Yeah, I mean, no doubt about it. There's a lot of trash talking going on this field, and Art mentioned it before the broadcast. This is an old-school rivalry right here, and so these guys, they're knowing they're playing in their last game, talking about Killeen, and Temple knows what they already have going for them. So there's a lot of trash talking going on out here, and it's getting a little physical and a little chippy, like you said.
So here's the Sports World kickoff, and it is an onside kick, and it's going to be out of bounds, and the Wildcats will retain possession. That ball ricocheted that time off the Wildcats. Smith and went out of bounds. And really, the Wildcats are kind of lucky to come up with that football, guys.
Absolutely. No, and they had their hands team out there, I believe, didn't it? It looked like they did. So that, that's a perfect spot for you. You anticipate the onside kick, but the Wildcats' reaction to it was a little kind of just
lackadaisical.
Yeah. It wasn't crisp. And you can't give a school like Killeen a little bit of life here and hope on some.
1st and 10 at the 29-yard line. Wildcats on the right hash go right to left, and they'll fake the handoff to Howard. And now trying to break toward the sidelines, and does, and gets out of bounds. And here comes more laundry quickly as Arizmendi is knocked out of bounds on the far side, just right at the 40-yard line. It'll be 11 yards on the gain if it holds up.
Hold it. Number 3,
He's hesitating to let that ball go.
10 yards. Repeat first
It looks
down.
like that from up here, Q, but I can't really tell.
The sideline is even screaming, throw it, let it go. I mean, he's waiting, I feel like, for them to get open. He doesn't want to make a mistake, but you can't think about it. You just got to let that thing rip.
So it's going to be holding against the Wildcats. Spot foul. Once again, it'll be 1st and 9 coming up for the Wildcats after the mark-off. 2 receivers stacked to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun formation for Arizmendi on 1st and 9. This time he'll give it to Howard, coming to the near side. Howard breaks a tackle, cuts it back inside, and gets down, or out to, the 38-yard line. About a yard short of the yardage needed for a first down. It'll be 2nd down and 1 coming up for the Wildcats.
And Arizmendi waited till the very last second to leave that ball to Samari Howard, and that's what I'm talking about. When they know there's a legitimate chance of Arizmendi running, it locks the defense in and makes it harder for them.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left, and Arizmendi drops back to pass, and then he is flushed out of the pocket. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage and maybe lean for the first down, and he does. About a yard on the game by the quarterback. Flushed out of the pocket that time by the sophomore Aaron Barnwell. It'll be a loss to Vika Jewelers' first down for the Wildcats at the 39-yard line.
I'll tell you what we maybe see happening with Arizmendi is that the secondary of Killeen has been one of the bright spots of their defense, and a lot of these receivers are just covered.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Handoff to Howard, makes it up the middle, breaks the tackle inside the 50, down to the 45-yard line. Well, they'll mark him at the 46-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 14 by Samari Howard, and there's a loss to Vika Jewelers' first down for the Cats.
Plus, Art, like you mentioned, he's doing really good at that running, so he's comfortable with it as well.
Ward, with that run, Samari goes over 1,000 yards on the season.
Howard with another run right up the middle, big hole up the 40, down to the 35, to the 32-yard line. A pickup of 13 that time by Howard, and it's another loss to Vika Jewelers' first down. The safety, DeMonte Williams, stops the touchdown for the Kangaroos momentarily. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Shotgun formation for the Wildcats. He'll throw it wide open. Howard, he makes the catch. Touchdown, Wildcat. Samari Howard one-hands it at the 5-yard line. It skips into the end zone for the touchdown for the Wildcats and extends the lead now 20-6 with your PAT up and coming.
That was a play that I was about to say, if only Samari was about an inch or 2 taller, he would have had an easy touchdown, and he went up and made the play anyway, said, hey, don't even worry about it, I'm going to get in the end zone. What a catch right there. He left his feet one-handed and brought it down and got into the end zone.
So the Cats go to the swinging gate, leading 20-6, and looks like they're going to stay in the swinging gate. Howard dots the I, puts a man in motion. Howard takes the snap, rolls to the wide side of the field, wide open, touchdown, or excuse me, 2-point conversion is good to Pilot, but there is laundry on the field, and I believe this is not going to make Coach Stewart very happy. He's going to try and say illegal formation, which it is absolutely not an illegal formation, and Coach Stewart's trying to diagram and teaching. 7:56 to go in the Ponderosa and Fleet Service second quarter.
This official is not happy.
Illegal formation. Not enough people on the line. 52-79.
And that's not an illegal formation. And they're going to say that that penalty will be assessed on the PAT. And I don't know if Coach Stewart's just going to go ahead and roll into the normal. Yes, he will. Boy, that's not going to make Coach Stewart very happy, because that's not an illegal formation.
No.
Not even close to an illegal formation. Nonetheless, the Wildcats will send Howard back to hold for Bontic.
Thomas Botchkit, number 35.
Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is good. Your new score from Wildcat Stadium, Temple 21, Killeen 6. Wildcat football continues in 1 minute on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Heating and air conditioning. We all expect it to work. When it doesn't, don't call any heating and AC company. Call Temple Heat and Air, your full-service AC and heating company. 254-771-1012. Locally owned and operated since 2001, you'll see the difference in their personalized, safe, and friendly service. As an American Standard and Lennox dealer, you'll get the right parts and service for the right system. Get same-day service and no surprises, plus great financing and discounts. When your system isn't working, call Temple Heat and Air, 254-771-1012.
Cover 71 yards. Arizmendi to Howard for a 32-yard touchdown pass, and it took 1 minute and 50 seconds off the clock.
Thank you, Stephen. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Kangaroos, trailing 21-6, 7:56 to go in the Ponder Auto and Fleet Service second quarter.
What a catch by Howard. That was just an amazing
Incredible.
I mean, it's like he almost had a magnet, a glove full of magnets, just sucking the ball into his hand.
Stick 'em.
Shotgun formation for Bailey. He'll have a receiver to both sides, and this time he'll hand off to Arthur on the right side, and he'll lean forward for a couple, maybe 3 yards on the carry before he is knocked off his feet. York on the stop that time for the Wildcats, and Shorter in there as well on the assist. It'll be 2nd down and 7 coming up for the Kangaroos. Kangaroos in the all-white tonight as they huddle up right behind the football and send everybody out. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. They go left to right. Arthur in the backfield with Bailey in shotgun. Cats with the 4-man front. Snap back. He'll fake the handoff looking downfield. Now he's going to step up into the pocket looking to throw it across his body, and it is almost intercepted in and out of the hands that time of Carlton Mack. I think it may have surprised him more than anything else.
That jumped up on him real quick, fast, and in a hurry, and he was looking at the other way like, okay, I'm about to score. He's thinking about scoring, and he forgot one thing.
Carlton Mack's going to be in trouble when he gets home tonight.
He forgot the ball.
Yeah.
Hey, man, DBs win games. There's a reason why we play defense.
3rd down and 7 coming up for the Kangaroos. They'll send 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun formation for Bailey, and Arthur will be to his left. 5-man front as they cheat up for the Cats. Now they'll drop back into coverage. Bailey drops back. Now he's going to be flushed out of the pocket, and he's hammered just as he turns around. Thought he had a little bit of real estate, but the door closed quickly from Eric Shorter.
Who else but Eric Shorter? I mean,
he's been incredible. He is, I'm telling you, man, he is like the heartbeat and the engine of this defense. He just has so much energy and passion. It's a pleasure to watch out here.
Q on the sidelines, brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. That'll bring up 4th down and 7 coming up for the Kangaroos, and so the Kite will drop back to punt this to Taylor. Taylor will stand about the 35-yard line for the Wildcats. Cats in the blue jerseys, white numerals tonight, blue helmet, and of course the blue front white back pants. It's going to be a short kick that's going to check up and then dribble the Kangaroos' way. And all of a sudden somebody hits him from the back, and Taylor has to pick it up just to keep the ball in possession, and he'll try to get up the sidelines. Dances away, now he breaks to the far side of the field, looking for a block. He gets it from A.J. McDuffie. Down to midfield he goes before he's knocked off his feet. A 47-yard punt and a 22-yard return that time from Taylor, as he was forced to pick that up because one of the Wildcats came in and bounced the ball back to him.
Well, it hit one of the Kangaroos at first, and so the sideline yelled, pick it up, because there's no harm, no foul at this point. So he picked it up, and he made something happen with it.
Yeah, 21, Zion Moore was the Wildcat that kind of broke it up there and kind of climbed in. He's a sophomore for the Wildcats. And then, of course, the worst thing that the Killeen Kangaroos want, they don't want Tredarius Taylor with that ball. He just does crazy, magical things back there returning.
Here come the Cats on 1st and 10 from the 48. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. They go right to left, put Howard in motion to the far side of the field. Snap back to Arizmendi looking. Now he'll step up into the pocket. He'll be flushed out of the pocket, and Laundry flies all over the field about the time he steps up into the pocket. That's probably going to be a hold against the Wildcats.
Surprise. It's only like the 10th holding call of the night. It's not even halftime yet. These guys' arms are going to be tired from throwing as many flags as they've thrown tonight.
Number 53, Temple.
Holding against the Wildcats. Boy, he is emphatic about the call each and every time. It'll be 1st and 20 now for the Wildcats, who lead at 21-6 with 5:57 to go in the Ponderosa and Fleet Service second quarter.
I'll tell you guys, I did not see an open receiver.
No, I didn't either.
I think the secondary for Killeen Kangaroos is for real.
2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side in stack formation. This time he'll give it to Howard. Howard dances in the backfield, and he pays for it as he'll be dropped at the line of scrimmage. Coming in and making the play that time was Larkins for the Kangaroos. It'll be 2nd down and 19 after the 1-yard gain by Samari Howard. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. That's A.J. McDuffie, the lone receiver on the far side. Pilot and Allen stacked to the near side. 1 back in the backfield with Arizmendi and shotgun. He'll take a 3-step drop, looking downfield, still looking. Now he's going to be flushed out again, and he'll be hit at the 40. He makes his way out to the 43-yard line before he is finally dropped, and on the stop that time for the Kangaroos, coming across and making the play was Scooby, and it'll be 3rd down and about maybe 16 to go for the Wildcats.
But once again, I mean, that's not an issue of wrong reads by Arizmendi or even the receiver. They just were well covered. There was nothing open for them.
This is when you need your tight end to make a play down the seam.
3rd and long for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun for Arizmendi, a 3-step drop, looking downfield. Now he'll back up even more, and it's a screen to Howard. Howard cross midfield, down to the 45, down to the 40, breaks the tackle, down to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Wildcats! 57 yards on the touchdown, and the Cats extend 27-6 with your PAT up and coming.
Or you put it in the hands of your best playmaker and let him go to work, and that's exactly what they did. Samari Howard, I talked about how much fun it is to watch Shorter. It is a lot of fun to watch Howard go to work as well.
So now the swinging gate is no longer part of the equation as Bontic comes in for the PAT out of the hole of Howard. Smile at the World Orthodontics brings you to the touchdown. Clem McCaskis with your PAT. The kick is up, and it is good. Hold everything. Laundry on the field. Offsides defense. Cats will find that. And your new score from Wildcat Stadium. Temple 28, Killeen 6. Wildcat football continues in 30 seconds on Fox Sports Central Texas. Wildcat football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. Ward White's Art Coley, Alan Rorick along with you here in the booth. On the sidelines, your boy Q. Stephen Simcox produces back in the Fox Sports studios. Let's go to Stephen for the McGuire Tire scoring summary.
Took 4 plays to cover 52 yards. Arizmendi to Howard on a 57-yard touchdown pass, and it took 1 minute and 32 seconds off the clock, Ward.
Thank you, Stephen. Back in the studios at Fox Sports Radio. McGuire Tires brings you the scoring summary. Sports World with the kickoff by Bontic. And it is a short kick again, and it is fair caught again on the near side by Monroe. And they'll mark that one outside the 25 at the 26-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Killeen Kangaroos, who now trail 28-6 with 4:32 to go in the Ponder Auto and Fleet Service second quarter.
Well, the Wildcats are doing exactly what we talked about before the game, and some of our keys was, finish strong. Come out here and play with some intensity and some hunger, and that's what they're doing. They're not playing like they're already the district champions. They're playing like they're going to get that trophy tonight.
Cue on the sidelines, brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. Here come the Kangaroos on 1st and 10 from the 26. They go left to right in the all-white. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun formation. Snap back, and he'll throw the button hook pass and complete on the near side to the wide out. And on the reception that time was the outside receiver, Albert Powell. Powell will pick up 8 yards on the pitch and catch. On the stop that time, Keon Williams. It'll be 2nd down and 2 coming up for the Kangaroos.
Coach Searcy sure seems to be getting different names in on the game tonight. We're seeing a lot of people that were not listed originally as starters.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. This time Bailey keeps it on the left side. He's hit just as he gets to the yardstick and then thrown backwards by several Wildcats. And one there first was York, and got some help by Tommy Torres as well. And it's going to depend on the forward progress. I believe he got it just by the nose of the football, depending on where they put this down. Outside the 35 at the 36, and it is going to be enough for the Kangaroo first down.
That tackle looked like it came fresh out of WWE. Looked like that was an old school Hogan and Andre the Giant type move right there.
Kangaroos will have a first down at the 36-yard line. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Shotgun formation for Bailey. And Arthur to his left. And Arthur will get the handoff right up the middle. And he runs into a blue jersey, still trying to lean forward. On the carry. That was Kadarius Marshall on the carry that time for the Killeen Kangaroos. Of course, Laundry on the field, and that's going to be holding against the Killeen Kangaroos. Laundry brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. So negate that 5-yard run. It will be a spot foul. And now the official throws a flag about 30 yards back the other way. He was talking to one of the Kangaroos.
71. It was offensive lineman threw the ball, and it actually hit the official in the face. And he was talking to him, talking trash, and 71 waved his hand at him real aggressively.
I believe that's going to be an ejection.
I think so too.
He just threw that flag backwards about 20 yards up the other side of the field. It's going to be holding against the Kangaroos.
Dead ball, unsportsmanlike, number 71 Killeen.
So they'll mark off the holding first, I believe, and then they'll mark off the personal foul, which is going to put them. Well, yeah, there you go. Now they're going to mark off the second foul. That will put them inside the 15-yard line. Maybe inside the 10. Nope, it's going to be at the 13-yard line. So it will, instead of 2nd down and 2 coming up, it's going to be first. Is it first down? It should be second down, right? Did I miss a play, Q?
No.
Shouldn't it be 2nd down?
I would think so, because that was a run by Marshall, was the first down run. Well, then they called holding, so it went back to first down.
All right, so it's 1st and 35 for the Kangaroos. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Dropping back and in the end zone, trying to set up the screen, and now he just throws it toward the sidelines. There is nobody within 40 yards of where he threw that football. I think that almost has to be intentional grounding.
Should be a safety.
Well, the referee,
and it will be a safety because he's in the end zone. If you intentionally ground it from the end zone, nobody is in the area. The official's still looking at it, and now he's going to say that there was a receiver within the vicinity. I don't think there was anybody within 20 yards when he threw that out of the end zone. Nonetheless, it'll be 2nd down and 35. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. They go left to right. Bailey in shotgun. He'll take the snap. Hand it to Marshall. We're on the left side. Marshall loses the football and is picked up by the Wildcats at the 13-yard line. And coming up with the fumble, Eric Shorter for the Wildcats.
That's a bad man. That is a bad man coming in with bad intentions, and that's what Coach Stewart said before the game. We want to tackle with bad intentions, and that's what they're doing.
Well, in basketball, we say, sometimes they'll say the ball don't lie.
Yep.
Well, let me tell you, that really should have been intentional grounding and a safety.
Agreed.
But I think Temple would take the fumble and the ball and the chance for a touchdown here on that next play.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats after the turnover. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. That's Luke Allen. Shotgun for Arizmendi. Howard to his right. Howard gets the handoff right up the middle, and he'll be stacked up just as he crosses the line of scrimmage. In fact, they may just barely give him the line of scrimmage. Cats trying to hustle back to the line of scrimmage quickly. 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Cats. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. He'll take it this time, and he fumbles his way across inside the 10 down to the 5-yard line. He was juggling the football the entire way before he's finally knocked off his feet that time by Rodriguez, but it'll be 3rd down and 2 somehow for the Wildcats.
Well, Ward, your dad always says, and I think he's listening, sometimes it's better to be lucky than good.
Yeah, absolutely. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Snap back. This time he rides Howard too long, and he's going to be hit in the backfield. He breaks the tackle, though, down to the 5, leans, touchdown Wildcats! Somehow a magic trick from Samari Howard gets him in the end zone on the left side, and the Cats extend 34-6 with your PAT up and coming.
Well, Art, you know this. Sometimes you just got to want it a little bit more, and it looked like Samari wanted it just a little bit more.
Yeah, boy,
it looked like he rode him way too long on that, and they had 2 white jerseys in the backfield with him, and somehow Samari was able to escape and get into the blue turf.
Compliments to Samari because, you know, usually you don't get around the end on any Killeen school that easily.
Botic in for the Clem McKeskey's PAT after the Smile at the World touchdown is up and good, and your new score from Wildcat Stadium, Temple 35 and Killeen 6. Wildcat football continues in 30 seconds on Fox Sports Central Texas. Football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. Your new score from Wildcat Stadium, Temple 35, Killeen 6. As we'll get the Smile at the World kickoff after this McGuire Tire scoring summary from Steven Simcox.
It took 3 plays to capitalize on the turnover and cover 13 yards. Howard with a 6-yard touchdown run to cap off the drive, and it took 57 seconds off the clock.
6 yards where he ran about 25 yards.
Say, that's why I laughed. I was like, man, he ran 30 to get 6, but he scored. Shout out to Steven Simcox, doing a fine job.
McGuire Tire scoring summary from Steven Simcox. We'll hear from him at halftime as well with highlights and other scores from around the area. Botic will put the foot into leather, and the Sports World kickoff will be caught by Monroe this time. And he goes up the sideline, spins out of a tackle, gets to midfield, still down the sidelines, and pushed out of bounds at the 47-yard line. A 28-yard return that time, and that time Monroe said, well, I'm not going to fair catch this. I'm just going to go up the sidelines.
Well, Botic and Monroe had something going on there between the kicker, and, and I mean, every kickoff has been to Monroe, and so finally Monroe just, he said, hey, I might as well just run this thing, see what I can do. And actually, he got a pretty good run back there, and he probably surprised the Cats. They so used to him doing the fair catch, Q.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say. He totally caught the Wildcats off guard that he did not fair catch it. So they had a big block. They got a good, nice block on the Wildcats and got up the field for some nice yardage.
It'll be 1st and 10 from the 47 of the Cats. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side for the Kangaroos. Shotgun for Bailey. And this time Bailey will take a 3-step drop, looking downfield. Now he'll step up into the pocket, and he's going to be hammered from behind. And bringing him down that time for the Wildcats, Tommy Torres steps in and pulls him to the turf for a 3-yard loss.
I have really gotten locked in on Javen Taylor. He is taking on the center for the Kangaroos is 6'2", nearly 300 pounds. The right tackle, the right guard is almost 6 feet. 230, so about 550 pounds of beef there going against Javen Taylor.
3 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Shotgun for Bailey, and this time he'll take the snap, try the option. He's going to keep it himself, and he just falls down before Eric Shorter wraps him up and pulls him to the turf. And in on an assist that time was Tommy Torres, and a timeout called by the Temple Wildcats. The clock continues to run, about 8 seconds off the clock. And Coach Stewart's going to try to get that adjusted. We'll take the 30-second timeout with him. Your score, Temple 35, Killeen 6. Wildcat football continues in 30 seconds on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Everything in our world is connected. At Grande, we continue to invest millions in our fiber-rich network so you can have the most reliable connections when you need them most. These connections inspire our greatest passions in life. And as you follow your dreams, we're here for you every step of the way, 24/7, with our award-winning customer service, until one day, you become who you were always meant to be. Keep your family and home connected with Grande's lightning-fast internet. Imagine better with Grande.
Next is presented by Baylor Scott and White, Roney Bone and Joint Institute, Ward White's Art Coley, Alan Roark, and your boy Q here at Wildcat Stadium. 35-6, Cats with the lead on third down and 13. Snap back to Bailey. Drops back, now still dropping back, and he's going to be sacked way back inside the 40 at the 37-yard line, and Eric Shorter there first for the Wildcats. A huge loss by the Kangaroos, and it will be 4th down and 27 to go for the Kangaroos, and Temple will take their second time out here in the half. We'll keep it right here as Coach Stewart wants another opportunity to put his offense out there, Q.
Yeah, and, unfortunately, and we noted it before we went to the last break, that the clock rolled a little bit after Coach Stewart called the first time out. So really, technically, there should be like 58 seconds on there, but there's 51 seconds. They still have an opportunity to get down the field, especially if Taylor can set up a nice little return here. We know that if he gets his hands on the ball, anything could happen.
It'll be 4th and 26 after the loss, and Taylor will stand back at his 25-yard line as Gomez comes in to punt this ball. The Kite comes in to punt this ball away.
I don't know how many times you mentioned Shorter tonight, man. He's been all over the place.
And that's going to be offsides against the Wildcats, or did they not throw the flag? Taylor's going to make the catch at the 25, and he drops it, and he's going to be inside the 20 after that. Coming up and making the play that time for the Kangaroos on the stop was Monley. It's a 42-yard punt and a 1-yard loss on the return. I don't know how they didn't throw the flag on the offsides by the defense that time, but they did it. Thank goodness for the Wildcats.
Well, their arms were tired. I thought they threw so many flags. They were like, man, forget this. We're just going to get to halftime.
Good opportunity here for the Wildcats. Talk about tuning up, moving into the playoffs. You got 43 seconds left. You got all 3 timeouts. This would be something you want to really put a drive together here and go down and get some points before half. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Snap back to Arizmendi. They'll throw it to Pilot up the far side, and he'll get out of bounds after about a 6-yard gain. Had A.J. McDuffie blocking for him up front. It'll be 2nd down and 4 for the Wildcats. And the Wildcats only have 1 timeout. They used 2 on that defensive stand that time. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun for Arizmendi. He'll throw it to the far side on a button hook. A.J. McDuffie has it, and he falls out of bounds. No, he says he's still in bounds, and it'll be about a yard short. And the Wildcats are going to use their final timeout on 3rd down and 1 here.
Temple. 3rd and final.
We'll keep it right here on this timeout as well. Only 29 seconds remaining in the Ponder Auto and Fleet Service second quarter. 35-6, Wildcats have the lead, and they called timeouts on defense to try to get this football back, and then a couple of throws to the sidelines gives them 3rd down and 1 here.
Well, it even adds more an opportunity to fine-tune. Now you're saying, okay, we got 29 seconds to go. We're trying to get into half, and now how do you do it? Go ahead and try to, what they don't want to do here is think, well, okay, we're winning 35-6. Let's just, run a few plays. I like the way Coach Stewart has taken this, because this is an absolute situation that they very likely will face in a playoff game. Could be 2 weeks from tonight. So treat that 29 seconds game situation. It's live speed. It's hard to do this in practice. Move the ball down and try to get, maybe a field goal, if not a touchdown.
This is when you could use a guy like Taylor and his speed. So this is something I'm looking for on this play right here. Look for a big chunk play, and Taylor would be the guy. And, of course, he's not in the game. Good call, Q.
It will be stacked receivers to both sides of the formation. Shotgun for Arizmendi. He'll take it and throw it to Pilot up the far side. Killeen just playing center field, and he'll run out of bounds. And, Temple's doing the right thing. Get as much yardage as they can, then get out of bounds. If they're going to play back soft, then you just get the yardage and make sure you get out of bounds with time left on the clock. There's 25 seconds remaining in the half. 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun for Arizmendi. Now he'll put Howard in motion to the short side of the field. Looks to the near side, still looking. Throws it down the middle of the field. Has Pilot, and is knocked down by the defensive back that time. And coming across and knocking that ball out of the air at the last second was Martinez. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Wildcats. with 20 seconds remaining.
I think if Arizmendi puts a little bit more arm underneath that, I think he was trying to too much hit his receiver instead of just, back to your phrase you've been using, Q, let it rip. Just let it go.
He's got the arm strength. You know that.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Howard in the backfield. He'll fake it to Howard, looking downfield, and has a receiver again going to pilot, and it's knocked out of the air once again, that time by the same man coming across playing center field, Martinez. And it'll be 3rd down and 10, except for one thing. There's laundry on the field, brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners, and this is going to be interference against the Kangaroos, and that will at least give them a little more yardage, 15 more yards, and an automatic first down to work with for the Wildcats.
Yeah, that was a tug of the jersey. That's an old defensive back trick, and, you know, guys like me are good at it, especially from the sideline. I can get away with it now.
Q on the sidelines, brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. Ball will be on the right hash, and it'll be first down for the Wildcats. 14 seconds remaining in the Ponder Auto and Fleet Service second quarter. Cats lead at 35-6, trying to add here. Now they'll run the screen to the near side. Pilot's going to throw it downfield. Howard's wide open, makes the catch, and he drops it. He had it in his hands at the 5-yard line, bobbled it, and it bounds out of the back of the end zone, incomplete with 7 seconds remaining. The double pass was right there, and Samari Howard could not hang on.
That ball hung in the air forever, and he was sure trying to get to the end zone. But, yeah, that was one of those just bad luck right there for Samari. He's going to beat himself up for that, but it was a heck of a play call.
Well, he makes the incredible one-handed catch that we just all thought was impossible earlier. Of course, that one's right in the breadbasket, and he can't hold on to it. Just go figure, right?
7 seconds remaining. And the Cats will try another shot at the end zone probably. 3 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Empty backfield for Arizmendi. He'll take the snap, looking downfield, still looking. Now he'll throw it to the sidelines to Luke Allen. Luke makes the catch at the 30. Does he get out of bounds before the clock goes out? No. He'll step out of bounds at the 28-yard line. It'll be a gain of 16 yards for Luke Allen, but it will be the end of the half for the Wildcats as the clock expired just before he stepped out of bounds. And so the Cats will head to the locker room. Q will catch up with Coach Stewart heading to the locker room here in momentarily. Brought to you by the Temple Education Foundation. And Q, take it away.
Coach, you're up 35-6 halftime. Offense is looking really good, but, man, that defense has been intense all day.
Yeah, we're all right. I mean, we're fixing to go in and talk about discipline in class because, you know, there's just some foolish stuff going on. And can't let people get in your head and control your emotions, and so we talk about that all the time. So, we missed an opportunity right there, but you know we just got to play clean. And we got to play with class.
You want to finish strong though, and it looks like you're going to finish this one off strong, and it looked like you're going to get an opportunity to get some younger guys some burn in the second half.
Well, we're going to come out here ready to roll, and we'll see how the situation dictates itself. Because I ain't the guy that starts sitting people too early. I mean, we've lived that nightmare before, so we're going to come up trying to hit on all cylinders and we'll clean some stuff up. We need to take advantage of some opportunities to try to, to bury people when we have a chance. And we'll go in and talk about it.
Absolutely. Appreciate you, Coach. Back to you, Ward.
Thank you, Q. That is Coach Stewart, brought to you by the Temple Education Foundation. Heading to the locker room, it is the Morrison Pursley Financial Planning Halftime Show. Your score at halftime, Temple 35, Killeen 6. Wildcat football continues right after this on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Now taking the field of the award-winning Temple High School Kittens dance team. The Kittens are under the direction of Director Leslie Powell and Assistant Director Kelsey Bjornman. Social officers are Secretary Aaron Bombach, Historian Sarah Sikander, Vice President Avery Sears, and President Dayana DeCure. The dance officers are Lieutenant Kylie Naranjo, Lieutenant Ariana Skinner, Lieutenant Toby Harris, Lieutenant Abby Cook, and Captain Casey Marshall. The Spirit Girl of the Week is Gabrielle Mack, and the Kitten of the Week is Reagan Bro. The Kittens will now entertain an exciting Everybody dance now. And now, the Temple Independent School District is proud to present the Temple High School Wildcat Band. The band is under the field direction of drum majors Ellie Abel, Patience Johnson, and Amber Morris.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wildcat Band and their official sponsor in the system will soon present their award-winning 2021 introduction known as the Celebration of Black Artists and Composers. They will be performing the action by I Want You Back, Couple of the Rolling Stones on Temptation, and Dance to the Music by Sly and the Band themselves.
All right, Wildcat Nation, it's time to get off your seats and on your feet as the Temple High School Band makes the big T. The band invites you to join us to play the hay song.
The Wildcat Band is always ready to support the Wildcats, especially now that we're back home after a couple of weeks. So we would like to ask you to join us as we play Let's Go Wildcats. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for your attention this this evening. It has been our pleasure performing for you. Our sponsors for tonight's halftime show are in-house discounts. We thank them for helping the Wildcat Band outfit our trailer. Directors of the Wildcat Band are Brent Matheson, Marcus Duran, Marcus Padilla, Jennifer Effery, and Evan Simmons. Color guard is under the direction of Lacey Garcia. Director of Fine Arts for Temple ISD is Katrina Rothstein. Have a safe and restful weekend. Good night, and go Wildcats.
Service and repair. Ponder's Auto and Fleet Service is the go-to for your vehicle. At Ponder's Auto and Fleet Service, they use quality parts. They're a net repair center. They have a 12-month or 12,000-mile warranties available for your peace of mind. They also have free shuttle service for your convenience. Family owned and operated. Go by and see BW Ponder and the whole gang at Ponder's Auto and Fleet Service. Find them online at ponderautofleet.com. The Temple Education Foundation supports Temple ISD teachers and students by bringing together community.
COVID-19, they are thrilled to announce the 2020-2021 honor roll, including local philanthropist Allison Gibson, dedicated educator Cornelius Carl and former NBA standout Brian Skinner.
Affectionately nicknamed Temple Sweetheart, Dixon inspires others daily through her positivity, faith, and determination.
Football coach for the Temple Incorporated from 1924 to 1938. During his time as principal, Sampson was instrumental in changing the school name to Dunbar High School.
Skinner is a 1994 Temple graduate and is the only Wildcat to play in the NBA.
In the previous 2 years,
Okay.
alumni event, nearly $600,000.
How come I'm not hearing you? Okay, you turned off.
Please consider making an investment today by going to TempleEducationFoundation.org.
Walk-on athletes put everything they've got into the game. Walk-on Sports Bistro puts everything we've got into bringing
Good
you
first
the
half,
same
gentlemen.
day with a taste of Louisiana. Catch all the teams on over 70 big-screen TVs. Dig into our mouth-watering Louisiana cuisines like po' boys, gumbo, and Zulu shrimp, plus fan favorites like juicy burgers and fresh salads. It's all made from scratch with ingredients you can't help but crave. Walk-on Sports Bistro. We live for this.
Welcome back to Wildcat Football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. Ward White's Art Coley, Alan Roark in the booth. Your boy Q on the sideline. Stephen Simcox producing. This is the Morrison Pursley Financial Planning Halftime Show. Time now for your halftime stats. Brought to you by Automatic Chef Canteen. With those numbers, here's Coach Roark.
The Killeen Kangaroo offense managed three completions for 8 total passes for 22 yards, and among their stable of running backs managed 23 yards on the ground. So the Wildcat defense came to play tonight and have given up a total of 45 yards on offense. The Wildcats on offense now, Humberto Arizmendi went 9 for 11 for 177 yards passing, and the Wildcats managed 147 yards on the ground, 72 of those by Samari Howard, 75 of those by Arizmendi, for a total of 324 offensive yards tonight.
There you go. Your numbers brought to you by Automatic Chef Canteen. Thank you, Coach Roark. And now keys to the second half brought to you by Wings Pizza and Things in Temple. And Art, your keys to come out of here with a W for the Wildcats here in the second half.
I think the issue isn't necessarily a W award. I think at this point, you know, the game isn't over until it's over. But I think for the Wildcats, it's really just coming out strong, continuing to play well on both sides of the ball. Those stats that Coach Roark just mentioned, just, you know, really mind-blowing first half stats there. So the Wildcats looking strong, but really, you know, getting some of the backup players in, getting them the opportunity to play your final home game. You got a lot of seniors. This will be their final regular season home game. Of course, the Wildcats are hosting Waxahachie in 2 weeks, but I think that's really just it. Come out and play smart ball, no penalties.
There you go. Keys to the second half brought to you by Wings Pizza and Things in Temple. We'll get cues to the second half here momentarily after the Sports World kickoff. The Kangaroos, Munoz will be kicking off to the Wildcats. Wildcats deferred in the flip, and the onside kick is going to be covered up by the Wildcats. And coming up with the football for the Wildcats is McVade. as they had the hands team in. Q, your keys to the second half for the Wildcats?
You know, I think they just need to continue to play the way that they are, intense on defense, and let some young guys get some burn in there because you're probably going to need them in the playoff run.
There you go. Keys to the second half from Q. Brought to you by Wings Pizza and Things, and that is going to be a offside.
We have illegal touching on Killeen at the 44.
An illegal touch.
We also had offside
and
on
the
Killeen.
offsides. I
That'll
thought
be 5 yards.
So Johnny's Cleaners brings you the laundry on the field. Illegal touch and the
First
offside.
down.
The ball will be spotted at the illegal touch, so that'll put them at the Kangaroos' 44-yard line to start this drive for the Wildcats. And immediately you see a bunch of different numbers out on the field for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation for the Wildcats. And now something the official on the near side started calling for. I believe Coach Stewart wants a different spot.
Mm-hmm.
And so now they're going to move the football around.
Nice touchdown today.
And now they're going to mark off the offsides, and so that's going to put it at the 41-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. They'll have to get the down box reset. So, Arizmendi still in at quarterback, and in at running back is going to be Robinson, and Arizmendi will give it to Robinson. He breaks free right up the middle, inside the 45, spins down to the 30-yard line, does Robinson, as he had 2 white jerseys hanging on him in the backfield, and somehow he squirts away, and he'll pick up the first down on an 11-yard carry. A loss to Vinca Jewelers first down. Snap it quick and give it to Robinson again. This time he is thrown down rudely in the backfield by Taula, and it will be no gain. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Just walked by Jared Wiley, Texas Longhorn tight end.
Very
He
nice.
had a touchdown catch today, and he's on the sideline here at Wildcat Stadium.
Several Wildcats here.
Mm-hmm.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Snap back to Arizmendi. This time he fakes it to Robinson, throws it to the far sideline. It's caught at the 25. The ball pops loose, and it rolls free at the 35, and it is scooped up by the Kangaroos. Then they fumble it, and the ball's still up in the air. And I believe Killeen somehow came away with it. They did on the far sidelines. Boy, that took possession right away from the Wildcats as Taylor caught it, and it was punched out and then picked up by the Wildcats, and picking it up was Jones, and then he fumbled it and picked up on the far sidelines by the Kangaroos, and finally coming up with it that time was Williams, and that's where Killeen will take over 1st and 10 at the original spot of the half at the 44-yard line.
Well, Killeen knows they've got 2 quarters left to play in their season. They sure are coming out fired up.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation, and back in at quarterback for the Killeen Kangaroos is Thompson, and he'll throw the button hook pattern to the far side to Monroe, complete for a 4-yard gain. 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Kangaroos. Killeen in the all-white tonight. White jersey, maroon numerals, white pants, white helmet with the maroon K on both sides. Wildcats in the blue jersey, white numerals, blue helmet, the white logo on both sides of the T, and the iconic blue front, white back pants. On 2nd down and 6, here come the Kangaroos. Shotgun formation for Thompson. 1 back in the backfield. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Snap back, 2-step drop. Looking to the far side, still looking. Now he's going to be flushed out of the pocket and rolling toward the sidelines, and he'll put this one out on the track on the far sideline. He was flushed out and chased that time by Javion Taylor, and it's incomplete. 3rd down and 6 coming up for the Kangaroos.
This Wildcat defense has been intense really all night long, been getting after whatever quarterback's been back there, and the defensive backs have been doing a good job sticking to the wide receivers like glue. Coach Rourke gave us the stats earlier. Not a lot of offense for the Killeen Kangaroos.
It'll be 3rd down and 6. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. They go right to left. Shotgun formation for Thompson. Marshall in the backfield to his right. He'll take the snap and give it to Marshall, trying to get to the near side, being chased by several blue jerseys. Hurdles one, and it's out of bounds. Coming up and forcing him out of bounds that time was Williams, and it'll be 4th down and 10 after he loses 4 on that carry.
Yeah, Kadarius Marshall just has really been a non-factor in this game. And, of course, we heard the statistics from Coach Roark, but yeah, just and I mean this is a guy that's a 3-year starter for Killeen. He was the 2018 newcomer of the year, over 1,300 yards rushing last season, close to 1,000 yards this season, and the Wildcats have it's just nothing from him at all.
On 4th and 10, the Kangaroos will punt it back. Taylor will stand at the 25-yard line, as the Kite will come in to punt this ball away again. And a timeout's going to be called by the Kangaroos. They only had 9 men on the field, and they'll have to burn a timeout with 10:19 to go in the First United Bank and Trust third quarter. Your score, Temple 35, Killeen 6. We're back in 30 seconds on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Hey fans, this year Johnson Brothers Ford is celebrating 38 years of serving Central Texas and another great season sponsoring the Temple High School Wildcats. We love watching that blue front, white back magic on the field, and we're proud to join our community as we cheer on the Cats together. Good luck to all the players, coaches, parents, and fans. Let's make it happen in 2020.
Johnson Brothers, making it happen.
Go Cats!
Temple will take over at the 28-yard line on the punt.
On the read, and he'll get back to the 30-yard line after being chased in the backfield, and coming up with the stop that time was Larkins, and it would be second down and 8 after the 2-yard gain by Robinson. I was looking for Samari Howard on the sidelines, and right now I can't find number 8.
He's right here.
Okay, thank you
He
very
was
much.
back to receive that last punt and just went out of bounds.
2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Shotgun formation for Arizmendi. A 3-step drop, looking downfield. He'll pump fake, and now trying to go down the near sideline. Covered well by the Kangaroos, and now he just throws it out of bounds. Wanted to go to A.J. McDuffie on the stop and go, but A.J. McDuffie was covered well that time by the defensive back, Xavier George, and he had nowhere to go with the football. It'll be 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Temple Wildcats.
You know what I'd like to see, Art, and let me get your thoughts, is I'd like to see Arizmendi just throw it up there and give his wide receiver an opportunity once in a while.
2 receivers stacked to the far side, 1 receiver to the near side for the Wildcats, and he'll take it and throw it to Pilot on the far side. Pilot makes the catch, gets out of 1 tackle, and then slung out of bounds after about a half-yard gain. It'll be 4th down and 8 coming up for the Wildcats, and that one covered up again good by the secondary of the Kangaroos, Art.
Yeah, Q, I was watching that cornerback, Xavier George. He's the best cornerback for Killeen.
Mm-hmm.
I'll tell you, Q, I really do think, Arizmendi made the right read because everybody was covered. I think the secondary, and they're all seniors.
Yeah, they're doing a great
Killeen.
job.
They really are covering up these wild. So it's not. I don't think it's Arizmendi not just wanting to air it up. I just think that he's seeing that they're absolutely covered. Let's just put the ball down, punt the ball, and see what they can do on the next drive.
And the Wildcats look like they may run a fake here, and they do, and trying to cut it up at the 30 and gets out of bounds at the 35-yard line. They'll be short. That was Robinson back to punt, and he'll gain good positive yardage, but not enough for the first down. He'll be a couple of yards short, and so the Kangaroos will take over in Wildcat territory in pretty good field position after the 9-yard run by Robinson out of punt formation. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Kangaroos.
Well, Coach Stewart is not happy with Robinson on that, and the reason why is because he said, man, you ran out of bounds 2 yards before the first down. He said you should have been fighting and struggling to do whatever. If you're going to be short on it, on the fake punt, don't be short running out of bounds, man. You be short, trying to mow people over.
So now here come the Kangaroos with 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation, a low snap, but it's picked up and trying to get to the side on the left and knocked off his feet after about a 3-yard gain. I believe.
Number 6.
Thank you very much. That's a new quarterback in there for them. That's Jaden Hill in at quarterback, the 3rd quarterback we've seen by the Kangaroos, and it'll be 2nd down and 6 coming up for the Kangaroos.
I'll tell you, we were talking about defense, though, for these Wildcats, and when you are playing good defensive football, a lot of things can happen for you in the playoffs. A lot of things can happen, and good defense can you can find yourself maybe going deeper than you thought you originally were able to go with a good D.
And the ball's on the ground, and it's picked up by the quarterback, Hill, at a bad snap. It looked like it hit him right in the hands, and he just threw it down on the ground. I'm not sure what that was, but it'll be a loss of 3. 3rd down and 13 now coming up, or make it 3rd down and 12 coming up for the Kangaroos.
Well, I think that new quarterback in there, he saw Eric Shorter, Javen Taylor, Cody Little, and Tommy Torres just breathing down his it almost like a hot potato. He just said, here, let me set it on the ground.
And Hill stays in at quarterback. Now in the backfield is Marshall, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 3rd and 12. 3-step drop, throws the hook route complete and inside the 30 to the 28-yard line. On the reception, that is Jacoby Thompson, the quarterback that started the football game for the Kangaroos. He's going to be a yard short of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 1 for the Kangaroos, and they'll keep the offense on the field. Coach Stewart is screaming at his defense right now.
Trying to get them lined up. This is a huge play for the Wildcats defense. They've been up for the challenge all night long. See if they can dial it up one more time.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Hill in shotgun formation. Marshall next to him on the left, and it's a snap to the quarterback. He'll run to the left, and he's hit in the backfield, but he spins forward, and somehow they get the scrum pushed inside to the 25, make it the 26-yard line, but it's enough on the 2-yard gain for the first down for the Kangaroos. Wildcats had him in the backfield, and he just somehow was able to spin back inside and pick up the yardage needed for the first down.
That was that old famous Reggie Bush push.
Yes, it was. Cue on the sidelines brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Kangaroos at the 26-yard line of the Cats. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. They go right to left in the all-white. Hill takes the snap. He drops the football again, still on the ground, and he finally falls on the football just before Javian Taylor was able to get on top of him. It'll be a big loss by the Kangaroos outside the 35 to the 36-yard line, and that'll make it 2nd down and long coming up for the Kangaroos. As he loses about 10, so it'll be 2nd down and 20.
I'll tell you, Javen Taylor, I mentioned it earlier, but he's getting double teamed every single time. It's, you're not going to hear his name called on any tackles because he's over there battling half of the offensive line.
Hill in shotgun formation takes the snap, and he drops back, trying to set up the screen down the far sidelines, and throws it up for grabs, and somehow coming down with it, Kadarius Marshall makes the catch right back to the original line of scrimmage. It'll be a 10-yard gain, 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Kangaroos.
Sometimes a guy like Shorter, who we get to call his name all the time and he's doing stuff, sometimes that gets freed up for him to do more of those things because you get a couple guys in there like Cody and Javen Taylor that'll get double teamed, and they're really, Taquan Graham his senior year.
3 receivers to the near side on 3rd down and 10. 1 back in the backfield. Shotgun, and Hill will roll to the near side. Throws it across his body. Intercepted by Grays. Going back the other way to the 25, to the 30. Knocked off his feet at the 35-yard line. A 15-yard return on the interception, and the Cats have an INT.
Big play right there by Grays, and he was just spying the quarterback the whole time, and it looked like he ran the route for him. A really good play by the linebacker.
It'll be 1st and 10 for the Wildcats at the 35-yard line. Officially, they'll mark it at the 34, so 1st and 10 at the 34. Ball will sit on the right hash. Big play that time by Grays.
Well, come on. Grays starts out the season. He gets his first interception the first game of the season at AT&T Stadium against Longview in a big moment, and here he gets one in the last game of the regular season against Killeen Kangaroos.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Snap back to Arizmende. He's going to keep it, try to get to the right side, working his way to the edge, and he's pushed out of bounds at the 35-yard line. Coming across and forcing him out of bounds that time for the Kangaroos was Scooby, and it'll be 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Cats.
Art, you brought it out earlier in the game, but Aris Mendez, what he's doing with his legs, he's forcing other defenses now to have to work on that during practice in the week.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun formation for Aris Mendez. He'll take the snap, fake to Robinson, looking down the field. Has a receiver. It's Luke Allen at the 45. Gets to midfield, rides a couple of white jerseys out of bounds, and he'll pick up big yardage. That's going to be a gain of about 16 down to the 48-yard line in Kangaroo territory. A loss to Vika Jewelers, 1st down for the Cats.
Beautiful by Luke Allen and Arizmendi dropping in the hole on the zone coverage.
Snap back. He'll fake to Robinson again. Throws it to Pilot on the near side, and Pilot is hit immediately, incomplete. Good coverage that time once again by the Kangaroos, coming across and knocking the ball loose is Elam. and it'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Cats.
Yeah, that previous play, the Cats caught Killeen playing zone coverage back in secondary, and Luke just did a beautiful job cutting off what was going to be a deep route, curled it up at about 12 yards, and nice pass by Arizmendi.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation for Arizmendi, and he'll give the ball to Robinson this time. Right up the middle, big hole, 40, 35, 30. Steps it to the sideline, still on his feet, and crawls to the 25-yard line. Robinson with the Las Vegas Jewelers first down, a 25-yard run, and it'll be 1st and 10 in just almost to the State Farm red zone. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. This time Arizmendi wants it. Left side, down to the 15, to the 10, steps out of a tackle. Touchdown, Wildcats! Arizmendi from 25 yards out takes it to the house.
There should be a flag on the play for a face mask on not on Arizmendi, but he got his face mask pulled, so I didn't see the laundry, but I'm thinking that they did.
It's thrown.
Okay.
Laundry on the field brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. It was right at the goal line. The Kangaroos reached out and got him by the face mask just as he was crossing the goal line. That will be accessed on the... Are they going to put that on the kickoff? That should be on the PAT. And you probably would go for 2 if they put it at the 1-yard line, right?
Well, they're having a powwow. Here we go.
There's no flag on the play.
Oh my goodness.
He did not grab the face mask.
So they're going to say he did not grab the face mask, although his head was turned completely toward the Wildcat bench as he crossed the goal line.
Well,
so now it's 41-6. Smile at the World Orthodontics brings you the touchdown, and Samari Howard comes in to hold for the Clem McKeska's PAT for Bontage. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is good. Your new score from Wildcat Stadium with 4:47 to go in the First United Bank and Trust third quarter. Temple 42, Killeen 6. Wildcat football continues in 1 minute on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Heating and air conditioning. We all expect it to work. When it doesn't, don't call any heating and AC company. Call Temple Heat and Air, your full-service AC and heating company. 254-771-1012. Locally owned and operated since 2001, you'll see the difference in their personalized, safe, and friendly service. As an American Standard and Lennox dealer, you'll get the right parts and service for the right system. Get same-day service and no surprises, plus great financing and discounts. When your system isn't working, call Temple Heat and Air, 254-771-1012.
There at the very end, little hip movement.
Wow. Ain't right, Q. Other teams are looking at that going, well, crap.
Right. They have to work on that now. It was a good call, Art. Man, they're coming back quick. They're trying to get this thing over with.
No matter what they may claim. Las Vegas Jeweler says, yay, Cats.
Fox Sports Central Texas is KTON AM Cameron, K230CH Temple, K230CK and KBHT FM HD3 Waco.
Welcome back to Wildcat football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. Sports World kickoff a little bit quick from Bontage, and it's going to be fair caught by Monroe again. This time at, I believe, well, let's see where they're going to mark him. He was backing up when he caught the football, and they'll mark him at the 20. Nope, they're going to walk inside the 25. Okay, so they're going to put it at the 22-yard line. I believe that's the wrong spot because if you fair catch it, it automatically goes to the 25 if you're inside the 25. Nonetheless, Cats will take it. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation for the Kangaroos on 1st and 10, trailing 42-6. We'll get that scoring summary after this play. And Hill throws a little screen to the slot back, and the ball pops out of bounds, but not before it has carried for a couple of yards for the Kangaroos on the reception. Murray. Let's get that scoring summary brought to you by McGuire Tires with Steven Simcox.
They covered 64 yards in 5 plays, Ward. Arizmendi with a 25-yard touchdown run. And it was a quick 43-second drive.
Thank you, Steven. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side on 2nd down and 8 for the Kangaroos. Hill still in at quarterback. This time he'll hand the ball off. And trying to get to the near side is Marshall, and he'll break out of 3 or 4 tackles, but not out of the grasp of Javion Taylor as he picks him up off the ground and pushes him back. It'll be a loss of 2, 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Kangaroos.
And the Wildcats kicking off this drive, still going with their first team defense. Now I'm actually starting to see a couple people come in and be substituted. So I would expect to, if they hold them on this drive here and get the ball back, this might be the last series that you see this regular season of the Wildcats starting defense.
Hill in shotgun formation, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Kangaroos on 3rd and 10. He drops the football on the snap, and he just kind of nonchalantly falls on it at the 15-yard line, and it'll be 4th down and 15 coming up for the Kangaroos, and they'll punt the ball back to the Wildcats at Q. That looked like he had just decided that play was not going to happen for him.
Well, I don't know if there's a stat for how many snaps could be on the ground, but if there was, it'd be the leading scorer in the game right now. There's been about 10 to 12 snaps on the ground.
DeKite will come in and punt this ball away for the Wildcats, and standing back deep. Q, can you catch that number?
Taylor.
Thank you very much. Taylor will stand just about midfield for the Wildcats. DeKite puts his foot into it, and it's a low, short kick. It's going to bounce and then go out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So a 38-yard punt by the Kangaroos, and that's where the Wildcats will take over 1st and 10, leading 42-6 with 3:10 to go in the First United Bank and Trust third quarter.
Well, I'm absolutely not happy.
Why is that?
Because I like to see Tredarius Taylor run the ball back, and they keep kicking it out of bounds. Look, Taylor, 5 seasons calling games from the booth. He is the most exciting return guy I've ever seen.
He's fun.
He is absolutely fun.
Now Harrison Pilot in at quarterback for the Cats in an empty backfield. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left on 1st and 10 for the Wildcats. And now Robinson will check into the ball game, and he'll be in the backfield, so not an empty backfield. Pilot will take the snap, and he'll give it to Robinson on the right side. Has a little bit of room. Leans his way inside the 50 to the 47-yard line of the Kangaroos. A pickup of about 7. 2nd down and 3 coming up for the Cats. And on the stop that time for the Kangaroos was Hayes. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. They go left to right in the blue and white. Pilot stays in a quarterback in shotgun. He'll take the snap, 2-step drop, looking downfield, still looking. Now he'll throw it to the far sideline. It's caught and to the 35-yard line after almost making the defensive back miss. But he comes up with the reception on the far side. And the reception on the far side that time was
16.
Complete to the
Michael
catch.
Hextall.
There you go. Hextall, 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Pilot looking that way again. Now he's going to pull it down and run. Gets to the 35, looking for the sidelines. Still on his feet at the 30, cuts it up, and then steps out of bounds inside the 30 at the 26-yard line. It'll be a pickup of just right at 10 yards. Depending on the spot, I think he has it. It will be a Las Tavica Jewelers first down by Pilot. And, boy, he's just smooth running out there, isn't he?
Yeah, nice block by Walker, too. Jonah Walker gave him a nice block to spring him as well.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun formation for Pilot. He'll take the snap, 2-step drop, looking downfield. Now he'll throw it into the soft zone. It's complete on the far side. And going down just at the 16-yard line on the reception once again for the Wildcats, coming up and making it, Michael Hextall.
Well, if any of the Wildcat fans are thinking, boy, Hextall, that sounds familiar, that's because you got some blood there. His older brother, of course, played for the Wildcats in the 2014 state championship game against Aledo.
2nd down and 1. Split receiver to the left, 2 to the right. Shotgun formation for Pilot. This time he's going to keep it. Steps out of 1 tackle, trying to get to the edge. He does, down to the 15, down to the 10. Cuts it outside and gets out at the 5-yard line. It'll be a pickup of about 12 yards, but there is laundry on the field. Brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. I think this one's coming back.
Yeah, it's a block in the back.
Keandre Smith, the tight end right there, just did a little. He didn't really even probably need to do it, but it's just they're going to get that
natural instinct.
Yeah,
That's the natural instinct.
That's where you want to go over to the ref and say, "I really didn't mean to."
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
Let's call it even after that face mask penalty.
That will be marked off against
We
the
have 2
Wildcats.
fouls.
Did he say personal foul?
He said there's 2 fouls.
Number 58, Blue, Holden. Number 30, blocking the back, Temple. 10 yards, repeat, 2nd down.
So it'll be 2nd down for the Wildcats. 10-yard penalty will be marked off. Instead of 2nd down and 1, it'll be 2nd down and 11 coming up for the Wildcats.
I've never met an official that was so angry.
Boy, he is emphatic about the call.
He had a bad experience in Temple.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Pilot will stay in shotgun formation for the Wildcats on second down. And, well, it's actually going to be second. No, they only moved the down box. Second down and 11 for the Cats. 3-man front by the Kangaroos. Handoff to Robinson. Has a big hole inside the 20, down to the 15. Still on his feet. Stumbles his way down to the 11-yard line. So a pickup of 14 yards, and it's a Las Tavica Jewelers first down inside the State Farm Insurance red zone.
Nice balance. Robinson has a lot of nice balance, man. Even when he's stumbling to the ground, he's able to get his hand down and pick up still a couple extra yards. I like the way he runs, his style.
Cue on the sidelines brought to you by Texas Tour Gear. It'll be 1st and 10 at the 11-yard line. Cats can get a first down at the 1. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun formation for Pilot. Robinson to his left in formation. He'll take the snap and keep it himself. Now he'll bounce to the outside, still on his feet, and falls down at the 6-yard line. Just got tripped up at the 6. It'll be a gain of about 5 on the carry. Second down and 5 coming up for the Wildcats.
Was that Turf Monster that got him?
I believe Turf Monster did get him. Hugh's favorite player.
It's undefeated.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Wildcats on second down and 5. And they're going to let this clock run out. That's the end of the First United Bank and Trust third quarter. Your score from Wildcat Stadium: Temple 42 and Killeen 6. Wildcat football presented by Baylor Scott and White Roney Bone and Joint Institute will return right after this on Fox Sports Central Texas.
First United.
After the play, we have unsportsmanlike conduct. Number 24, Killeen. Half the distance. First down.
Q, is that you that keeps coming up with the static?
I don't know. I hear it. I'm trying to move things around to see, but I can hear it.
I wonder if that wire is getting loose on that new headset.
I don't know.
Because that's what it sounded like it did before we bought that.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Welcome back to Wildcat Football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. Ward White, Art Coley, Alan Rourke in the booth here at Wildcat Stadium. Q on the sidelines, brought to you by Texas Tour Gear, and Steven Simcox back in the Fox Sports studios as we move to the Texas Home Health Hospice fourth quarter. Cats lead at 42-6. They'll have first and goal to goal at the 3-yard line. Split receiver to the left, 1 to the right for the Cats. 1 back in the backfield. Pilot in at quarterback. The officials trying to get down the field.
Officials were in no hurry. The first time they ain't been in no hurry all night.
Robinson in the backfield with Pilot in shotgun. He'll take the snap. Give it to Robinson to the right side. Touchdown, Wildcats. From 4 yards out, the Wildcats extend the lead over the Killeen Kangaroos on the first play of the Texas Home Health Hospice fourth quarter, 48-6, with your PAT up and coming.
He got into the end zone, Art, and I mean, I know you got a better angle. I don't think he was touched.
I don't think he was either, Q.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's very rare that you run up the gut and don't get touched.
Smile at the World Orthodontics brings you the touchdown. Clem McCaskers with the PAT from Bontich. Snap back, hold down, kick is up, and it is good. Your new score from Wildcat Stadium with 11:54 to go. Wildcats 49, Killeen 6. Wildcat football continues in 1 minute on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Texas Home Health has proudly served Texans for 50 years and now is expanding with the
Welcome back to Wildcat football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. This time Moreau tries to run instead of fair catching the Sports World kickoff and knocking him off his feet immediately was Zion Moore. And it'll be no gain on the kick, and they'll take over 1st and 10 at the 30. Let's get that McGuire Tire scoring summary from Steven Simcox.
It took 7 plays to cover 53 yards. Robinson with the 4-yard touchdown run. And it took 3 minutes and 18 seconds off the clock, Ward.
Thank you, Stephen. McGuire Tires brings his scoring summary 49-6 in favor of the Wildcats. Here come the Kangaroos on 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line in the all-white, trimmed in maroon. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side as they go left to right. And back in at quarterback is Thompson, and he'll hand it off, and Marshall is hammered in the backfield. Guess who? Javion Taylor with the 4-yard loss. As he could have taken the handoff there, Q.
Yeah, he really could have, man. He was in the backfield way before the ball was handed off. And this Wildcat defense, it doesn't matter who's in there. They're just intense, and they're all over these Kangaroo ball carriers. And Eric Shorter's over here on the sideline standing right next to the defensive line coach trying to talk himself back into the game. I don't think it's going to happen, but, boy, he sure is campaigning.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation for Thompson. And Marshall stands to his right on 2nd down and 14. Snap back, 3-step drop, still dropping, now trying to throw the far tunnel screen on the far side. Monroe has it. He's hit, and he'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. 4 yards on the pitch and catch, but knocked off his feet that time by the Wildcats. Thompson. It'll be 3rd down and 10 coming up for the Kangaroos. The play took a long time to develop, and the Wildcats were able to close on it quickly. 3rd down and 10 coming up. This defense wants to get off the field one more time with 10:41 and counting here in the Texas Home Health Hospice 4th quarter. They'll send 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun for Thompson. Marshall to his right. He'll take it and roll to the near side of the field, looking downfield, and he'll throw it deep downfield, and it's short, but it's caught and then hammered, and the ball comes loose. They're going to call it incomplete, saying he was juggling it. That was Kadarius Marshall trying to come up with the catch, and the Wildcats dislodged the ball from him.
Really good play by the Wildcats. And when it looked like it was going to be a big-time completion right there, Marshall was bobbling the ball from my angle, and then, boom, you see a host of Wildcats come up and make a hit. So good play by the Temple defense.
And once again, Thompson, the Wildcat, able to knock the ball loose, and it'll be 4th down and 10, and DeKite will come in to punt this ball back to the Wildcats. Here comes your chance, Art. His back deep is going to be...
Not Taylor.
It's not Taylor?
Nope,
oh.
14.
Well, it won't be Taylor, and it's going to be a short kick, and it'll go out of bounds. The official will have to walk way up. Back receiving that punt for the Wildcats was Jonah Walker, and it'll be a punt of 35 yards and no return. The Cats will take over 1st and 10 at the 35-yard line on the right hash and see what offense comes out now with 10:10 remaining in the ball game.
Well, Coach Stewart's mission was accomplished. You know, I know there's 10 minutes to go in the 4th quarter, but now at this point your starters are basically all out of the game. I'm seeing the entire you talk about Robinson getting in not untouched on that previous touchdown play. That was that starting line, that group kind of the Rice, Lynn, Fry, Camacho, Rodriguez. Now the backup offensive line is in and probably is for the rest of the game.
Pilot in shotgun, and he'll fake the ball to McVade and throw the the curl route intended for the inside receiver, Kobe Smith, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
So they've accomplished their mission here. They came out, they've looked good in all aspects of the game, and now your backups are going to get almost a full quarter in of playing, and you've escaped any injuries that we know of.
Shotgun for Pilot, 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. This time Pilot's going to keep it, trying to bounce to the edge, gets the edge, and he'll step out of bounds at the 40-yard line. Positive yardage of about maybe 6 on the carry, depending on where they're going to spot this where he stepped out of bounds. It will be 3rd down and 4 coming up for the Wildcats. Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side. They go right to left. Pilot back in shotgun. Kangaroos show blitz, and now in the neutral zone. That should bring a flat. There it goes. They're going to call illegal procedure. I don't know how they're going to call illegal procedure on that. The left nose guard was all the way across the line of scrimmage. Johnny's Cleaners brings you the laundry on the field. They'll talk about this, but that time for the Kangaroos, it was Jones. He was completely across the line of scrimmage before the ball was snapped, and the official blew the
offside.
There it is. Offsides defense.
5 yards.
They just had to talk about it, negotiate.
So that should be an automatic first down, brought to you by Las Vegas Jewelers. It'll put it outside the 45 at the 46-yard line with 9:56 to go in the Texas Home Health Hospice fourth quarter. 1st and 10, Wildcats. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Pilot, shotgun formation. He'll take the snap, two-step drop. Looking to throw it down the far sideline. Has a receiver clearing at the 20, and it's overthrown, incomplete. Trying to get it to the far sidelines, and had his receiver that was going right up the sidelines, and that was Hextall. Just overthrew him a little bit there, Art.
Yeah, did you see how easy Pilot threw that ball? I mean, that was a a good 40-plus yard pass, and he just barely even took a step and put that ball in there. He's got a very strong arm.
Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side on 2nd down and 10. This time he'll give it to McVade, and McVade works on the right side. He'll pick up about 3 yards on the carry before he is knocked off his feet by Jones for the Kangaroos.
You start taking a look at this Wildcat offense and defense, and you see how many of these guys are going to be back next year. I mean, this is a very young team. I mean, having making a good showing in the playoffs and getting that experience and coming back, this could be a good 1, 2, and 3 year run for Coach Stewart, really making possibly a deep run in the playoffs.
3rd down and 7 for the Cats. Shotgun for Pilot. High snap. He pulls it down easily, and he's going to keep it himself, and he is wrapped up in the backfield. 3 white jerseys there to converge on him quickly for the Kangaroos, and their first that time was Jones and also Morales in on the stop. It'll be 4th down and 9, and the Wildcats will send the punting unit out for the 2nd time tonight, and Robinson will be back deep to punt this ball away.
I got a tweet about our live streams and our broadcast that's really, really good, but I didn't know the names of the guys who do the live streams. I know they do a good job.
Zach is one of them that's doing a great job for us. 2 receivers split on the punt formation, the big wide splits. Robinson will stand about the 30-yard line as he'll put his foot into it, and it's a low short kick that's going to take a Wildcat bounce, and there's a bunch of blue jerseys to down it as it rolls dead at the 16-yard line. 39-yard punt, no return, and that's where the Kangaroos will take over 1st and 10 with 8:17 to go in the Texas Home Health Hospice fourth quarter, leading 49-6 over the Kangaroos.
Well, Q, that's a real appropriate tweet because it's been a nice treat with the COVID here and people not being able to come to the game and having all these games live streamed. And Temple went over and contracted and got some of the guys from the Mary Hardin Baylor crew to come over and do this video production. And I'm with you, man.
Great job.
I've heard so many fantastic compliments about the job they do with the video production.
2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Thompson back in at quarterback, and he'll hand the ball off to the back in the backfield, and I believe that's a new back in there again, and that's Cheever. And Cheever will gain about 4 yards, 2nd down and 6. Yeah, we appreciate Zach and his crew, the fine work that they've been doing all season long here at Wildcat Stadium. 2nd down and 6 coming up, and the clock continues to roll at 7:47 and counting. Cats lead at 49-6, and the Kangaroos on a 2nd down and 6. 2 receivers to the near side, 2 to the far side. Thompson in at quarterback, and they'll run the end around and trying to get to the edge, and there is nowhere for him to go, and he'll be blasted back at the 15-yard line. Several Wildcats in there to knock him off his feet.
A little laundry on the field over there, Ward. I don't know if it's possibly a face mask or or was it a holding?
Williams was in there first for the Wildcats.
Personal foul. Face mask. Number 22, Temple.
Face mask
15 yards.
The
automatic. First down.
That will give the Kangaroos a first down on the penalty. And that'll move the ball outside the 30 to the 34-yard line. Nope, 35-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 at the 35 for the Kangaroos. Is that only the second first down of the half for them?
Yes.
3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation for Thompson. On 1st and 10 at the 35. This time Thompson's going to keep it and try to get a block, and he's knocked off his feet immediately. And coming up and making the play that time for the Wildcats, Nicarian Williams. And it'll be 2nd down and 10 coming up for the Kangaroos.
How impressive is it that the 2nd string and 3rd string guys that come in defensively can still keep up the same intensity and still shut these guys out? Coach Stewart always says it doesn't matter if you're 1st, 2nd, or 3rd string, you expected to do the job. They are continuing to keep the job and doing it well.
Yeah, it's a great point. 2nd down and 11, loss of yardage on the play by Thompson. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. They go left to right in the all-white. This time he'll ride the running back, Williams, in nothing to do, and he'll be dropped for a loss as coming across the line of scrimmage and just planting him back across the line of scrimmage. And I do not have that on my roster right now. The young man wearing number 45 is not on the roster we have up in the press box. It'll be 3rd down and 11. Q will try to get that for us from the sidelines possibly.
I will.
Guys, we all started doing the broadcast. Was that 18? Is it 18, 19, 20? Is this our third?
This is our third season.
Third season?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, we've taught you a lot in this time, Art.
Well, you know, I appreciate you still working with me, Q.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Laundry flies on the field, and that's brought to you by Johnny's Cleaners. And that's going to be illegal procedure against the center this time, as everybody but the center knew the snap count. And that's probably not the best one. That's the one you need to know.
Well, I was asking that because, you know, you guys really haven't been able to experience the Wildcats going deep in a playoff run yet.
Not yet.
We were out in the first round against Mesquite Horn and Longview last year. And so you know, we still got to get, you know, Q's got to get into that Wildcat Nation thing. He still, you know, says it doesn't exist.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun formation on 3rd and 15. And he'll fumble the snap but hand it off to Arthur. Arthur going around the left side, gets some positive yardage. Tough running from Arthur as he's finally pushed out of bounds by several Wildcats. And, boy, he's got it going now.
Yeah, he's a tough out, man. He's a really fast running back. He's not very big. He's a small dude, and he's got one of those, you know, small dudes. He's going to lower his shoulder and hit you, and he's going to let you know about it afterwards.
It'll be 4th down and 7 coming up after the 11-yard gain that time by Arthur. Shotgun formation for the Kangaroos. Thompson stays in at quarterback. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Arthur in the backfield. 3-step drop by Thompson. He's going to throw it down deep, and it's incomplete. Tried to get it to the inside receiver that time for the Kangaroos, and that was intended for Monley, but it was way short, and the Wildcats will take over and downs, 1st and 10.
You know, we talked about it last week, but, you know, the 2 goals, you know, growing up in Temple and the whole community feel and the vibe here is that, you know, this community looks for district championships and state championships. You know, I mean, and so that mindset means you leaving the playoffs in the first round just is like the world started, you know, Earth started rotating the wrong way kind of thing, right? You know, in this with the community around here. And this is a team, I think, that could really do some damage in the playoff in a good way for the Wildcats.
2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. They'll hand the ball off and hit right as he crosses the line of scrimmage. On the carry that time for the Wildcats is Bryce Langram. He'll pick up, just about to the line of scrimmage. I thought he got about 1, but he did not. Knocked off his feet there at the line of scrimmage by Ashton Price. 2nd down and 10 for the Cats. 2 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far side. Shotgun for Pilot. And Langham stays to his right. Long snap count. Pilot takes it and gives it to Langham again, trying on the left side. This time he is ramped up just as he crosses the line of scrimmage. He'll lean forward for a couple, and that's it. Coming in, Price on the stop again, and it'll be 3rd down and 8 coming up for the Wildcats. You know, using that clock right now. Excuse me, Art.
No, Ward, I just looking at the rosters, You know, one of the things Coach Searcy deals with, even though Killeen has several hundred more students enrolled at Killeen High School than Temple, you know, his roster only a little over 30 players on the varsity roster, whereas Temple has 60 plus and a lot more athletes participating in the football program.
Pilot takes the shotgun snap, looking downfield, has a receiver, and it's caught at the 28, maybe 29-yard line. Depending on the spot, he may have the first down, and that's a big catch that time by Jonah Walker.
Yeah, it's a little short, but that was a big catch, man. He was in traffic, and he just came up and kind of got his mitts on it and was able to bring that thing in. And anytime Walker's in the game, it's always a lot of fun. He brings a lot of energy as well.
Well, how about Pilot threading the needle on that, too?
8.5 yards on the pitch and catch. 4th down and 1 coming up for the Wildcats. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Shotgun for Pilot. Long snap count by Pilot. This time he'll take it. And Pilot's going to keep it himself. He almost fell down, but somehow he gets up, and he gets down to the 20-yard line on the left side, and that 6-yard gain is enough for a Las Vegas Jewelers first down. It looked like he fell down, and I think that froze the defense there, Hugh.
Yeah, it did. You know, and they slowed down, and Pilot's quick enough where as long as he can keep his balance, he'll get up and pick up that 1 yard. Ended up picking up 6 on the first down, and, you know, going back to that last play and that pass by Pilot, Art had the quarterback's back, of course.
Split receiver to the near side, 2 to the far side. Pilot will take it. He'll hand it off this time to McVeigh, giving hold inside the 15, down to the 13-yard line. Make it the 12 before he's knocked off his feet. Well, the near side says the 12. The far side says the 13. And it'll be 2nd down and 3. 2 receivers to the far side, 1 to the near side. Snap back to Pilot. Hand off. McVeigh again skips his way inside the 10 down to the 8-yard line before he is knocked off his feet. It's a Las Vegas Jewelers first down, and it's 1st and goal to goal for the Wildcats inside the State Farm Insurance, Mitchell Davis, and Tyler Germstead red zone.
I know Killeen doesn't like it, but I like the fact that Wildcats running a little bit of tempo here with their backup crew so that they can just experience that. Absolutely.
Yep.
Now they'll get into the victory formation. After this snap, we'll go to Stephen Simcox for a scoring summary back in the Fox Sports Studios. Victory formation for Pilot at the 9-yard line. Snap back, and he'll kneel it down. Let's go to Stephen Simcox.
Yeah, Ward, Bryan just defeated Ellison 24-22, and with that victory, the Vikings have clinched a playoff spot in 12-6A.
Thank you, Stephen Simcox, back at the Fox Sports Central Texas Studios, and the Bryan Vikings will be heading to the playoffs with that win.
Ellison has so many games on their schedule that they lost by just 2 points, 3 points. I mean, razor thin in terms of the difference of a no playoff season for them and the difference in possibly competing for the district championship.
That's the story of their season. That's what it's been. It's close losses.
So it'll be 2nd down, but that's all for nothing as Pilot will take the victory formation snap and kneel down. And that should be the last snap of the ball game as the Temple Wildcats are going to finish the 2020 season undefeated in district with a 49-6 win over the Killeen Kangaroos here at Wildcat Stadium. Thanks to Texas Home Health Hospice bringing you the 4th quarter. Stay tuned. The Dynasty Chinese Restaurant post-game show is next on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Everything in our world is connected. At Grande, we continue to invest millions in our fiber-rich network so you can have the most reliable connections when you need them most. These connections inspire our greatest passions in life. And as you follow your dreams, we're here for you every step of the way, 24/7, with our award-winning customer service, until one day, you become who you were always meant to be. Keep your family and home connected with Grande's lightning-fast internet. Imagine better with Grande.
This year, Johnson Brothers Ford is celebrating 38 years of serving Central Texas and another great season sponsoring the Temple High School Wildcats. We love watching that blue front, white back magic on the field, and we're proud to join our community as we cheer on the Cats together. Good luck to all the players, coaches, parents, and fans. Let's make it happen in 2020.
Johnson Brothers, making it happen.
Go Cats!
Just an outstanding job by the Wildcats. Congratulations! Look, it's tough going undefeated in any district.
Mm-hmm.
That's just hard to do,
Absolutely.
week in and week out. But especially this District 12 6A, and you see the battles going on right now, even with Belton and Shoemaker over there trying to survive to get one of those final playoff spots. But just man, it's a tough district, and that's a big deal for Coach Stewart and this team, to be able to have the outright district championship and go undefeated in district.
Coach Stewart talking to his team right now, and now you've got a couple of weeks off before you have Waxahachie. Do you have to approach it any differently, Q?
No, not at all. I mean, you just continue to handle your business. You continue to practice. You continue to, focus in on the little things that you can correct and work on. And, Coach Stewart is always a guy who's going to find different things to work on and get his guys amped up. But I'll tell you, man, you guys are talking about this team and how it's, went undefeated in district play and the maturation of a very young team. How about a maturation of a pretty young coach as well, still in Coach Stewart? And some of the things he's done this year, you've just seen him almost grow as a coach as well. And sometimes that's about growing as a coach as well as the players growing.
Q will catch up with Coach Stewart here in just a moment when he gets through with the team on the sidelines, and that's a great point. You talk about Coach Stewart, and we even went into that first ball game of the regular season at AT&T Stadium looking at this team thinking, well, if they can just perform good here at AT&T Stadium, maybe that will give them a little momentum and a little good feeling going into the season. Well, they did more than that at AT&T Stadium, and they've kept it rolling throughout the season. Let's go down to Q with Coach Stewart, brought to you by Locker Room Haircuts. Take it away, Q.
Coach, you end the regular season undefeated in district play. I know that's not the end-all, be-all goal. I know holding the gold trophy up is not the end-all, be-all goal. But how does it feel?
I'm very proud of these guys. I mean, we can only be 1-0. And I talked to Ward before the game about, what would it mean to finish undefeated. That we can talk about that now, but I mean, our goal was to be 1-0 this week, and that's what the kids did. And I was very proud of the energy and the focus that they came out in a game that potentially could be a letdown game. And
right.
We talk about it, and we our process, is predicated on the fact that you don't look ahead, you don't look behind. And so I was just proud of those guys personifying that tonight.
How do you get them to push that button and realize that, hey, this is a game we got to finish strong, even though, like you said, it could be a letdown?
Well, through off-season, off-season is a little different this year.
Right.
Through our virtual meetings and stuff, it's short-term memory. I mean, again, I told them celebrate. We played last Thursday. We celebrated that night. We got to work. We got to work. We came out here and grinded on Friday. And, some of them were a little bit, I was like, guys, I told you this was coming. I mean,
right.
we don't, if the only thing we do is hold up a district goal ball, then we will have missed an opportunity, and it's just part of the process. This game didn't have any significance as far as what you do in the playoffs or anything like that, but it is part of the process, and I think those kids believe the process, and I think they believe in us.
Something we talked about the whole game throughout the broadcast is Eric Shorter, Taylor. We talked about a lot of these guys along the defensive line, and they were just really getting after it. What do you see from those guys?
Well, Eric's a high-motor guy. Javen's a high-motor guy. Tommy and Cody, they do a really good job of assignment football. And they're just tenacious. Coach Havens, Coach Matthews have come in with this, set the standard kind of mentality. There's been some phenomenal defensive linemen come through this place. And so you got one or two choices. You can either try to live up to that and set your own mark, or you can just kind of, go along with the motions. And those guys take a lot of pride in their jobs as coaches, and those kids take a lot of pride in their production and their effectiveness on the football field. So I've been very proud of those guys.
Final question for you. I know you always take a lot of pride when you see former Wildcats either come back or you see them perform on Saturdays do really well. Quentin Johnston and Jared Wiley were both here today in attendance. They're doing really well on the next level. What does that make you as a coach feel?
It's not just those two, but I'm so proud of those guys. I keep up with most all of them, if not all of them. I try to check with them on a weekly basis. The family doesn't stop. We've got an acronym that says family, F-A-M-I-L-Y, forget about me, I love you. And the relationships we build with these kids, to watch them go be successful and to watch them go do their thing. Ben Norman was here. We've had several guys come through this week because they're home for Thanksgiving. And it means a lot to me that still means a lot to them.
Right.
We coach these kids hard, but we love them harder. And to have them come back and to share this with us, man, they're always – any Wildcat out there listening, you're always welcome up here.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate you, Coach. Congratulations again, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. Love you guys. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it, Coach.
All right. Thank you, Coach. That is Locker Room Haircuts with Coach Scott Stewart and Q on the sidelines. Appreciate his fine work, as always, on the sidelines. And Q, an elated Coach Stewart, but getting the opportunity to, come away with this victory and play well. I think that's the biggest thing. You didn't get a sloppy win here in the last ball game, and that could have been very easily done thinking about where you're at. But they played well. They played sound. Very little penalties. We saw some flags fly early on the Temple Wildcats, but they corrected that. They got that under control. And a sound football game going into an off week before you play for a bi-district championship. And look, it's been a little while since they've won a bi-district championship. The last 2 years, they were knocked out by Longview, as you pointed out, and then the year before that, Mesquite Horn knocked them out of a bi-district championship.
Yeah.
So that's another gold ball that they could put in the trophy that they've missed out on the past few years.
Q, you with us?
Yeah, my bad. I was focusing on something else, but you're absolutely right. I was working on another interview real quick.
Sure. Well, listen, crank that up. Yeah,
I'm trying to get Coach Knox real quick.
All right.
Holler at us
Coach.
when you got. Oh, you got him?
You got a second?
Let's go to
Let me
Q
get you for a second, man.
Coach Knox on the
I always
sidelines.
get Coach Stewart. Let me get you real quick, man. Hey, man, how the defense? I'm here with Coach Knox, defensive coordinator for the Temple Wildcats, and the defense comes out, and each week, all season long, it's just been intense. How do you push those buttons and get those guys cooking every week?
Well, we just got to make sure that we stay focused. We talk to them each week that, put what's behind us, and we got to go out and play our best ball. We tell them every week that, go out, execute the plan, keep going, stay focused. And, these guys love to play the game of football. I talk to them about it all the time. They love practice. You come out and watch them practice. They're flying around. It's a good group of kids. A good group of kids.
How important is that when the guys love to practice? Because it makes the game easier.
Oh, for sure. If you get a group that's not really involved in practice, it'll show up on Friday night where they're not, they're not into it. They're not focused. They're not ready to go. But these guys love to practice, and they fly around in practice, and you see it on Friday night what they do. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We always talk about you can't turn on a flashlight.
Right.
It's not a switch. You can't turn the light on when the lights come on Friday night. You got to do it on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. What are you doing? Preparing yourself to get ready. So these guys prepare themselves very well throughout the week, and I just hope that we can keep playing well.
Final question for you. Keon Williams was a captain tonight. He went out there for the coin flip. How much have you seen him grow, his maturation?
Coach, he's grown so much. He was up as a sophomore. He had some guys in front of him that really showed him the way, and he's really taken on a role to be a leader with the DVs. We only got 4 seniors on this group,
yeah.
And so we got a lot coming back. But Keon, he's matured so much throughout the year. I remember last year we kind of set him out halfway through, and then he turned on a switch, and he's just rolling with it right now. So he's doing a really good job, and just hope continue great play.
Well, your defense is doing a really, really good job leading the way for the Temple Wildcats. So congratulations, going undefeated in district play, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yes, sir. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
All right, Coach. Appreciate you. Yes, sir. Have a good one. There you go.
All right, thank you, Q. That is Q on the sidelines. Once again, the Temple Wildcats with the win here at Wildcat Stadium, 49-6 over the Killeen Kangaroos, and they head into bye district undefeated in district play here at Wildcat Stadium. We'll take a timeout on the Dynasty Chinese Restaurant postgame show. When we come back, Stephen Simcox will run you through the highlights, how this one unfolded tonight here at Wildcat Stadium. As Wildcat football presented by Baylor Scott and White Roney Bone and Joint Institute continues right after this on Fox Sports Central Texas.
and they finish up the regular season with a victory, defeating Killeen 49-6 tonight. Let's take a listen to those highlights and hear how we got to that score. Wildcat defense forced a 3-and-out on Killeen's first drive, and on the ensuing possession, marched right down the field, and it was Samari Howard capping it off with a 5-yard touchdown run.
Two receivers to the right, one to the left. Snap back to Howard. Direct snap. He'll go to the left side. Stiff arms. Touchdown, Wildcats. Samari Howard and the Cats strike first from 5 yards out. 6-0 with your PAT up and coming.
PAT was good, making the score 7-0 Temple early on. On the next drive, after another defensive stop, the Wildcats went down the field again. This time, it was Arizmendi hooking up with Pilot through the air for a 26-yard touchdown pass.
Two receivers to the left, one to the right. Will put Howard in motion to the near side of the field. 3-step drop, looking downfield, has a receiver clearing in the end zone. Touchdown, Wildcats!
Again, the PAT was good, making your score 14-0. Killeen would fight back, though. They had their first impressive drive of the game, and a 30-yard touchdown run cut into the Temple lead.
Snap back, and it's a quarterback draw all the way. Bailey on the right side, and he steps out of a tackle inside the 15, inside the 10, weaves, and is he in? Touchdown, Kangaroos.
So that made your score 14-6. Temple would actually block the extra point attempt. And then Samari Howard went off for the rest of the first half. He had a huge game, scored the first touchdown of the game on a 5-yard touchdown run. Well, he got into the action in the receiving game, making an incredible catch and adding a touchdown through the air.
She'll throw it wide open. Howard, he makes the catch. Touchdown, Wildcats. Samari Howard one-hands it at the 5-yard line and skips into the end zone for the touchdown for the Wildcats.
Arizmendi to Howard from 32 yards out, made your score Temple 21, Killeen 6. On the next drive, Temple had the ball, and they had a 3rd and long. They were just setting up a screen pass. It appeared that maybe they were just trying to get some room for their punter to work, but Samari Howard had other ideas.
Shotgun for Arizmendi, a 3-step drop, looking downfield. Now he'll back up even more, and it's a screen to Howard. Howard cross midfield, down to the 45, down to the 40, breaks the tackle, down to the 30, to the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Wildcats!
A screen pass that goes 57 yards for the touchdown, 28-6 Temple after that score, and Samari Howard would punch it in one more time before halftime to extend the Wildcats' lead.
This time he rides Howard too long, and he's going to be hit in the backfield. He breaks the tackle, though, down to the 5, leans, touchdown, Wildcats! Somehow a magic trick from Samari Howard gets him in the end zone on the left side, and the Cats extend 34-6 with your PAT up and coming.
PAT would be good again. 35-6 was your score going into the break. Temple would come out. They got the ball first in the second half and march right down the field. Arizmendi getting it done with his legs.
Two receivers to the near side, one to the far side. This time Arizmendi wants it. Left side, down to the 15, to the 10. Steps out of a tackle. Touchdown, Wildcats! Arizmendi from 25 yards out takes it to the house.
That would make your score Temple 42, Killeen 6. And the Wildcats would punch in one more touchdown. This time it was Robinson extending the Cats' lead.
Robinson in the backfield with Pilot in shotgun. He'll take the snap. Give it to Robinson to the right side. Touchdown, Wildcats. From 4 yards out, the Wildcats extend the lead over the Killeen Kangaroos on the first play of the Texas Home Health Hospice fourth quarter, 48-6 with your PAT up and coming.
The PAT would be good in your final score. Temple 49. Killeen 6. Elsewhere in 12-6A, Shoemaker and Belton, that game's still going on. They're tied at 21, and they are in overtime. Heights beats Coppers Cove 42-20 this afternoon, and Bryan defeats Ellison 24-22. As Art Coley pointed out, another tough loss. A lot of close losses this year for Ellison. Some games on Temple area. A good one going on right now. Buffalo and Rogers. Buffalo leads 37-35 with 2:18 left in the fourth quarter. And Salado fell to Carthage earlier today, 35-7. Carthage gets the victory. And they'll actually play China Spring after China Spring beat Sealy earlier this afternoon. We'll send it back to the guys to wrap things up. This is Temple Wildcat football on Fox Sports Central Texas.
Market is one of the fastest growing areas in the state. Are you looking for a new?
All right, guys, I got 1 minute here and we'll be back.
Howdy, I'm Bradley. Help you find your first home or your next home. Call or text me today. And
what was that kicker's name again?
254-541-2721.
Botch it.
That's
Botch it. Botch.
What is it?
Explore your coverage
Donis
options
Bottic.
for auto, home,
Bottic.
and life insurance from your farmer.
Welcome back to Temple Wildcat Football here on Fox Sports Central Texas. Ford White's Art Coley, Alan Rourke, and your boy Q here at Wildcat Stadium. Stephen Simcox back in the Fox Sports Central Texas studios. Appreciate his fine work as always. I wanted to thank the video crew all season long for the fine work that they have done. Some folks were asking about who was doing it, and they doing an outstanding job here at Wildcat Stadium. Appreciate Zach, also Havea, also Brandon, Steven, Andrew, Josh, and Alexis for their great work here at Wildcat Stadium all season long. We appreciate them helping us out.
I was saying hi to my mom.
Oh, okay.
You know, every time you get in the camera, you say, hi, Mom.
You get the radio guys. You can tell the radio guys. It's like, hey, what is that thing? What is that thing down there? It's like,
you
hey,
can tell the radio
nope,
guy
my
ain't
hands
worth
are lifting.
I ain't worth nothing, man. Radio guys ain't worth nothing, man. We'll never get seen on TV, man.
This is bonus coverage for all you Wildcat fans out there.
Dynasty Chinese Restaurant post-game show. Let's do your post-game stats brought to you by Automatic Chef Canteen. Here's Coach Rourke with your stats.
On the Killeen Kangaroos side of the ball today, of course, I already told you they had 45 yards in the first half, and the Wildcat defense only gave them 13 yards in the second half.
Wow.
For a total of 58 yards for the game.
Wow.
That's outstanding. In the second half, the Wildcats managed 180 yards total, 129 on the ground, 59 of those coming from number 25, who is Jalen Robinson. Yeah, he had a great game. And, of course, we got 51 yards through the air. 40 of those came from Mikal Pilot. He went 3 for 5 for 40 yards. And the Wildcats managed or totaled 504 yards of offense for the game.
There you go, your Automatic Chef Canteen post-game stats. Thanks, Coach Rourke. Appreciate that. And, you know, something that you talked about in the game, both the Q and Art talked about, is the difference that we've seen in Humberto Arizmendi over the past couple of weeks, really using his legs and giving now any team that they face in the playoffs, they're going to have to look at that, and he's done a really good job of really riding that out. And I even said it on the touchdown that he rode out Samari too long because they got in the backfield. Well, Samari still made a great play to be able to get in the end zone and get away from those two white jerseys there in the backfield, but he can ride him so long because of the fact that he has so much confidence in his legs right now, and that's just another aspect of this offense that people are going to have to pay attention to.
That's the word, confidence.
Yeah.
I mean, Arizmendi, I'm not for sure at the beginning of the season that he really had the confidence. Alan, what do we have?
He had 100 yards on the ground tonight.
Yeah, 100 yards rushing. That word is the secret. What you just said there, Ward, is that Arizmendi didn't have that belief, confidence. You know, remember, this is a guy that was playing JV football last year.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a one-year letterman, which is just amazing to me with the performance that he's had this season. But the confidence is, and you know, to me that switch flipped last week against Shoemaker.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the
and it was needed. It was needed in a major way.
Perfect timing. It may have been the difference in winning that game.
Absolutely. That was big, and really, I mean, he came on the scene week 1 against Longview in AT&T Stadium. Remember, we had questions on is it going to be Pilot, is it going to be Arizmendi, and all of a sudden Arizmendi started throwing the ball around the yard, and we all said, I don't think there's a question.
No, there
and
wasn't.
He's done a heck of a job all season long for the Wildcats.
Yeah, you know, but isn't that kind of the story of this team all season? And I'm going to reference Dr. Little, Cody's father, when he said, man, it's like a team out here that it's not about any one person's name. It's just about going out and playing Wildcat football, playing as a team, and being able to pull a victory out. And I think Arizmendi doing what needed to happen. I mean, he may have the coach maybe even saying something to him like, look, we need you. There's going to be some opportunities for you to move the ball. Hang on to it. Go pick up some yards. You may just get a few first downs that wins that game. He ended up doing a lot more than that against Shoemaker last week, and then he comes out here tonight with 100 yards. But I not to beat it the point dead, but I think it's going to be a critical factor in the playoffs.
Oh, no doubt.
There's no doubt. It absolutely could be. It gives another dimension to this offense where you can have some things that you can draw up during the week and just for him to do with his legs. I mean, we haven't seen him do any bootlegs or anything like that, but he has the legs to be able to do that. So, I mean, there's a lot of things that he can do with the football to try to throw some other teams off, and maybe it's just a scheme thing that the offense can do because of what the defense does with their front or with their linebackers or where they're setting them on the field, and gives that open space to him to be able to sit there and do that. But you saw an offense that ran on all cylinders tonight. And I think going into the playoffs, that's what you want to do more than anything else, is just fine-tune some things and just be able to be yourself. Not have to reach in a bag of tricks. Not have to do a bunch of fancy stuff in the last ball game of the season as you're getting ready to go into the playoffs. You were just yourself. You had your identity out there, and you just played with your identity and didn't do a whole lot of special things. If you're able to do that going into the playoffs, that means you're playing pretty good football at this point in the year, and you want to be peaking at this time of the year, right? You don't want to be peaking in week 1 against Longview. And I mean, it could have been easily to say, hey, we just beat Longview after they just beat us down in the Bayou District. We took care of them in a big way at AT&T Stadium. And a lot of people wondered, where did that come from? Is this Wildcat team for real? Well, I think you've seen all season long that they've gotten better each and every week, offensively and defensively. And I think this defense causes a lot of problems for a lot of teams as they move through the playoffs.
This defense makes it go. This defense gives the offense the opportunity to be themselves and not have to be out of character and not have to try to do too much. They allow them to stay and like Ward, you always say, stay on schedule and continue to do what you want to do, play Wildcat football, because the defense, they have confidence. Just like they ran that fourth down fake, and they didn't pick it up. But the defense didn't give up any points. The defense can go out there and say, hey, no worry, we'll get it back for you. And that's exactly what they'll do. I couldn't tell you how many shutouts they've had in the second half this season, but it's been a lot, including this one.
Ward, and you tell me if I don't know how much time we have for here, but I think we do need to talk a little bit about the playoffs here. Just kind of setting that stage, because the regular season for the Wildcats just ended. Next week is a bye week, so there is another week of the regular season for the other schools. Some COVID games are having to be made up. Of course, in our district, anything's far from settled for those other 3 spots until next week's games are played. But Q, I thought made a great point earlier that I really hadn't thought about and kind of just it deserves a little attention. And the fact, Coach Stewart, most coaches in Texas don't start out as a head coach of a program like this at the highest level. Top winning is, one of the top 3 winning programs in the state of Texas. That kind of Coach McQueen didn't start here, right? He went out and Mahia and played. That was, I think, his first head coaching job before he comes to Temple. You're like jumping from maybe the go-kart track to Formula One, as far as Texas high school football goes in the top division. And Coach Stewart, there was no warm-up time as a head coach in any other division. This was where he started, and this being his 5th season, I think it's a great point you made, Q, and the fact that we have seen him. I've seen his decisions change, because my first year in the booth calling was his first year as a head coach. Yeah. And I have seen decisions, comments that he's making, the way he's approaching the game, his own maturity in that role. Look, when we're all new at something, we're new at something. Exactly. And there's a learning curve everybody has to go through. You can read all the books, you can see it all, you can be the assistant coach all you want, but until you're in that seat and in that saddle, you have to, that's a big part of success, because that's an element of the team. So I think that component coming into, because Coach Stewart's, he started in 16. Listen, his first season, he goes to the state championship game.
This is easy.
Hey, I
should have been doing this a long time ago.
his second season, 17, you get knocked out in round 4. Which, look, when you get that deep in the playoffs, anything can happen. To Manville, his third season, the 18 season, you lose the first round of Mesquite Horn. Very disappointing with the talent that was on that team. Mm-hmm. No one thought that team should be leaving in the first round. That was unacceptable. It was unacceptable.
It wasn't Temple Wildcat football. It just wasn't.
Last year, you could argue going to Longview and win. That's a hard place to win any time of the year. But it was, a pretty ugly loss, too. Just face it, that was a long trip home after that game. So I think Coach Stewart is even with himself saying, this is kind of a time for him. The Wildcat fans and the community expect more than that. Not that everybody's pressuring it, just what you got to be in the state championship game every year. But I think this team, boy, I think there'd be a little bit disappointment, I know, with the team and the coaches, but also the community not seeing a round 2, round 3 kind of season into the playoffs. So that's just, thinking about a little bit of that playoff stuff coming in and getting in that far. I think this team could do that.
Yeah, I think they have a big chance in front of them. You've got to be able to go in there with some confidence, but not just go in there with too much confidence and thinking that, hey, all we have to do is show up. It's our field, and if we walk on it, we dare you to beat us. You got to have a little bit of that swagger, but you also got to know that whoever makes it to this point in the season, is a pretty darn good football team, no matter what district they're coming out of, and they have an opportunity to do something special just like you do, so you come out and handle your business. If they do that, they should be fine. And this is a team that has lots of weapons, and they have a lot at their disposal, and I still say this defense can carry them a long ways because of the fact that they can stop just about anybody you put in front of them. You don't put them in harm's way, they're going to do big things, and we've seen them be able to do that all season long.
Yeah. You all right?
You going to be okay?
That was a sneeze? I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure which one that was. I didn't know if that was A or B. All right. Now, going back to the defense, and one of the things that Coach Knox said that really stood out to me was the fact that they love to practice. I think that's so important. Teams that love to practice, when you go and play the game on Friday night or Thursday night or Saturday, whatever day it is, it's easy to play the game. You do the hard work, Monday through Friday. You do all the hard work during practice. I think that that's major, and you can see it. These guys, they cheer for each other. When Eric Shorter was out of the game, he was the #1 cheerleader on the sideline. When Samari Howard's out of the game, he's the #1 cheerleader on the side. They all root for each other. And Art, you mentioned they're not a team with a name on the back. They all play for that team name on the front.
Makes a big difference.
They ain't worried about the name on the back. They're worried about the name on the front.
Time now for the good hands of the game, brought to you by Perbilski Insurance. And I'm going to start it this time because I didn't know that there was any way that he was going to make that catch at the 5-yard line and bound to the end zone. But Samari Howard on the touchdown catch there on the near sidelines, to me, maybe the Perbilski good hands of the season, because that was an outstanding catch. I thought the ball was overthrown personally.
Yeah, it was. It was. And I was about to say, well, if he was a little taller, he would have got a touchdown catch. Well, he was tall enough because he went up there and climbed the ladder and made that play. So that was huge from Samari Howard. I'm going to flip the script and I'm going to switch it a little bit. And I know it's the catch of the game. I'm going to say the foot of the game.
Okay.
I'm going to talk about the guy who did the kicking tonight. Donis Bocic.
Bodic.
My bad. Can't give him props and say his name wrong. But he just comes in for Wagaman, who Wagaman is an absolute stud. He's one of the major weapons on this Temple Wildcat team. And he doesn't miss a beat. Doesn't miss any extra point at all. And he kicked it with plenty of leg, plenty of confidence. And when he was kicking off, he was kicking the ball where they wanted him to. It was directional. It was never deep into the end zone, but it was very directional. And it set Killeen up in just they had to fair catch it more times than not. I think he did a heck of a job. And I told you guys, that I believe off air, that Temple's going to have a really good kicker when Wagaman moves on. I think he's like an 18-year senior now. But when he does decide that he's going to hang it up, they're going to be in good hands or with good feet.
There you go. Nice. Coach?
Yeah, I'm going to have to go with Samari's catch also. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. It was an unbelievable highlight reel catch. And Bodic had a great game. He's a great kid. I loved seeing my boy Michael Hextall get a couple of catches this game. I still keep in touch with his older brother, Deontay. Those are two great young men, and I'm just really happy to see him get a couple of catches tonight.
Art, was a great point on Bodic by Samari Howard for me on that just amazing one-hand catch.
All right, there you go. I think both of them very deserving, but we'll go with Samari Howard. The Perbilski good hands of the game with the touchdown catch tonight here at Wildcat
You guys
Stadium.
just don't appreciate special teams.
Well, I think it's kind of interesting. I like the Perbilski good hands catch. What's neat is that those guys were both offensive linemen, too. You know what I mean?
There you go.
Jody and Jimmy.
There you go.
That's right.
Nice.
Oh, all right. The Cats get the win. They head into the playoffs against the Waxahachie Indians. That'll be 2 weeks from tonight, we think, here at Wildcat Stadium. I don't see any way that, unless they lose a coin flip, that Coach Stewart would want to play on a Saturday. I think he'd want to try to keep it as normal as possible. But I could be totally wrong. That would be my feelings, is you want to try to keep it as normal as possible for your team, at least going into the first round of the playoffs. But we'll have to wait and see. But we think it'll be 2 weeks from tonight with a 7:30 kickoff right here at Wildcat Stadium. Coach, your final thoughts on this one tonight for the Wildcats?
504 yards of offense, final game of the season, while holding the other team to double digits is just phenomenal. I mean, the Cats are rolling into the playoffs the way they should be.
Art, final thoughts on this one tonight?
Echoing what Alan just said, and then playoffs, man. I mean, 64 teams about to go into the 6A Division II. Temple will be the #1 seed and for 12-6A in that division. I know we've got a lot of Wildcat fans out there that are right now asking, who could we be playing? So I've got a list for them. If you want to do your research, Waxahachie, Ward already mentioned it. We've talked about it 2 weeks tonight. You can do some research on Rockwall Heath, which could be a real possibility of a round 2 game. Spradlin, former
Mike
Wildcat,
Spradlin.
Mike Spradlin coach. If you want to go a little deeper, take a look at Bridgeland, really knocking things out down there in District 16 6A, and then Cedar Hill, Spring, Decaney. Those are just 5 teams there that for those fans wanting to just kind of look forward in the bracket. But hey, there's 6 rounds of the playoff. Round 1's in 2 weeks, and everybody knows what happens. If you're playing in round 6, you're at AT&T Stadium in January.
Should be a fun one coming up. Q, your final thoughts on this one tonight?
My final thought actually comes from Andrew Fox on Twitter. He hit us up earlier about the live stream, but he said the Cowboys and Horns disappointed, but Temple beating Killeen 49-6 has been a blast. One of the silver linings to this hashtag stupid pandemic has been Texas high school football live streams. Q and the Temple crew kicks as much butt in the booth as our Cats do on the field. Lots of talent on this Temple team. We'll see what they can do in the playoffs, but these guys can ball. Killeen was the hated rival when I was growing up, so kicking their butt makes for a great evening. So I may have edited a word or two because I'm a family guy. But point being, shout out to Andrew for that tweet, and thank you for the compliments on the broadcast. These guys do a great job, and Temple does a great, even better job on the field.
We appreciate it very much, Andrew. I want to thank some folks in this broadcast tonight. Again, thanks to Zach and his entire staff with the video crew. We appreciate their fine work all season long with the video here. We heard lots of compliments all season long of the video that they provided for Wildcat fans, and we certainly do appreciate that very, very much. Thanks to Stephen Simcox producing back in the Fox Sports studios. He will have the scoreboard show coming up over on our sister station, ESPN Central Texas. Hey, thanks to all our sponsors all season long as well. We appreciate you because without you, we would not be in this booth every Friday night getting to do something we love on a weekly basis. We want to thank you, and we want to appreciate you as much as possible. Without you, again, it would not be possible.
Hey, Ward,
and we
I know
look
you
forward
wouldn't say
to seeing
this.
you in the playoffs.
If they want to help and sponsor something for the playoffs, if any openings for sponsors.
Sure, yeah, give us a call back at the station, and we'll be able to help you out, or you can hit us up.
1-800-DONATE-$1.
You can reach us at Fox Sports Central Texas. Syntex Sports Fan, if you'll go to that website, Syntex Sports Fan, it'll be a link on there if you'd like to be a part of the Wildcat broadcast throughout the playoffs. We certainly would appreciate it as well. Thanks to Coach Rourke on stats. It's a great job as always. Art, appreciate your work as always here in the booth, and Q on the sidelines. Thank you very much. We appreciate you as well. Once again, your final score from Wildcat Stadium. Temple Wildcats 49, the Killeen Kangaroos 6. I'm Ward Whites. Until next time, so long, everybody.
Shotgun for Ayers. Mendea, 3-step drop, looking downfield. Now he'll back up even more, and it's a